With every 10, it's starting to get more real and real. The duel we wanted to highlight here was, of course, your World Cup champion, Bugha! You know we had to talk about it. Vivid, imagine the World Cup title and then slap a global championship title on that. That would be crazy.
What a career Bugha has had, teaming up with threats for this year. Coming in major number 2, a 5th place. Closing out major number 3 with a 2nd place. Not to mention Bugha himself has 3 FNCS titles. I mean, what can't he do?
One of the GOATs of this game. And I personally, as a fan, just want to see him lift a trophy on a major stage again.
Yeah.
It would be amazing.
I'm hoping, man. Of course, we've got more duos to introduce. Let's get the next 10.
This is Acorn and Cold with a dominating performance in the upper bracket. These guys are here and they're looking to take home that trophy.
Now let's make some noise for Peppo, Clip, and Zagu. Representing for Asia, they are ready to fight for the trophy. It's time to bring your A game.
Representing the Middle East, Mshari and Rude might be the only team from their region, but that doesn't stop them from winning. These guys will do whatever it takes to succeed.
From NA, we have Thoric and Bolts for Viton, proving that they can take home FNCS wins. They have championships under their belt, but can they do it one more time?
Misha and Teeny, ladies and gentlemen, do not feel safe regardless of where you drop on the map when these guys are in the lobby. They are here, and they are here to win.
Here we have iDrop and Mappy, the Scandinavian duels, now ready to bring the trophy home after qualifying hot out of day 1. Let's go.
Make some noise for Brightbear and Flixie. Slowly been climbing the ranks for seasons. Now is their chance to make it big and solidify themselves among the best.
But wait, Fastrokey, Kylie, they have landed. They are here, dropping right in from the upper bracket into the grand finals. They are making an impact on the leaderboards.
A big round of applause for Muzz and Paper. These guys are used to being high up on the leaderboards, and they only needed day 1 to make it here. Now it's time to finish the job.
All right, give it up for Mr. Savage and Badil! Making the lower bracket look easy. It's exciting to see if they can do it again here for the grand finals. One step closer to games beginning. Mr. Savage and Badil, you know we gotta talk about these guys. They ended first place after yesterday's lower bracket. First place from the last chance major. They have something to prove, and they're here to show it.
Talk about clutching up when it matters. I mean, I've talked about it multiple times. It's just a duo that makes sense. They're so smart. Mr. Savage has so much experience, especially on the big stage. More than 10 in-person event appearances, and then Badil teamed up with him. The mechanical prowess, it's all there.
Savage has played on stages like this as much as anybody else in the world of Fortnite. He will know. But Badil, he's been the one in crunch time this year that has really put the performances in to seal the deal. And even though there'll be pressure on him, Badil will be ready.
I'm ready. For more duos, let's get the next 10 in here.
Let's get a big warm welcome for Yopso and Rise. Consistency is key here, and they proved it all year long. Now is the time to finish what they started.
Let's hear it now for Alex and Worthy as
the only OCE team in the lobby tonight, this is their chance, and the pressure is on to take home the LAN title.
Please meet Trulex and Chicho. FNC experience and titles are plenty here. However, a LAN title is still to be secured. The opportunity is rare, but it's here. It's now.
And this is Shari and Gyros coming smoking hot out of day number 1. Now they're focusing in on today. There's no time to waste. This is it for them.
Make some noise for Bobby and Larpex. First Asian team to make it to the grand finals, but they are not done yet. The trophy is within their grasp.
Pars and Baka, everyone. With a solid performance in the upper bracket, these guys have to be ready now more than ever to take it on in the grand finals.
Here we have him, Astratus and Striker. Brazil is not to be messed around with. These guys are here to prove they can challenge everyone on the international stage.
Foil and Sphinx are not to be messed with, taking home a victory royale in the upper bracket. They are now here to show if they can do it again. Pressure is on.
Give it up for Queasy and Benno! Today's menu says comeback. Second in the Invitational, second in the upper bracket, but now it is time for a first place finish.
And here we have Kemi and Seti. These guys are used to lifting trophies this weekend. They are looking to add another one to the collection.
يا ساتر بس الكير معلق البث ليش 21,000 هذا من مليون
Care if our net worth is 18 mil.
This is getting real. Every single wave, man. A duel we wanted to highlight here from OCE, Alex and Worthy Lemon.
Like,
we kind of have been talking about this every time we've seen them. Worthy, a phenomenal player. Then you pair him with someone like Alex, who OCE as a whole are just like, this is our guy. I can't wait to see how they perform.
I am so excited about this duo, right? You know, it's rare we get to see some of the smaller regions step up the way they
That's
did
when
in
you
the upper
suck.
bracket finals. Sixth place is
DQ?
no shabby feat at all. And personally, when you look at their playstyles, Alex, man, one of the most electrifying players there is in Fortnite. When he turns it on, when he decides he wants to get an LM, he's getting an LM.
Top 25 in every single game on day number 1. Can they do it again and represent OCE?
Absolutely. Arena, make some noise. Let this last wave of players hear you. Let's meet them.
Double R, 3 and Rituals are in the house. NA is their home turf, but after upper bracket, Denmark certainly looks comfy for them as well. Can they keep up the pace?
Don't blink, we have Hen and Bosque from last chance major to the lower bracket and then to the grand finals. Now they are here where they belong. All they have to do is seal it up.
Age doesn't matter for Moneymaker and for Nyan. Young and talented are key words for these guys, and now they're here to give it their all.
Vanyak and Carmi, ladies and gentlemen, fighting their way back out of the lower bracket. They are now here to prove themselves worthy as a grand finals team.
Put your hands together for Duke and Edgy! With an NA Major 2 title in the books and a massive clutch on the day too. It's time to add another one. Tonight is that chance.
Here we have, straight out of Asia, Shalom and MK Papa. This team right here has popped off, making their region proud, but they need to continue to make their mark.
Welcome, Kaizen and Clement. Making it to the Global Championship Grand Finals is an achievement in itself. However, there is still plenty up for grabs for this team.
Let's hear it for Scented and Polarized. All of the FNCS experience has been put to use. It's now or never for these guys, and here they are to show it.
This is Kanata and Agers dominating the AMA region and now ready to dominate Denmark. Eyes are on the prize for these guys.
Last but not least, Denmark makes some noise for Malabuka. Thomas HD. They are holding the fans high, and they're missing only one thing. That's an FNCS title.
Copenhagen, that's what I'm talking about. Y'all are losing your minds. You guys are in the same place as we are. We want to see games. We are so close, but man, this feels so good. There's so much electricity in the air. You saw them start first. Reet and Ritual out of NA. We've seen them perform well. What can they do here?
We've been talking a lot about how everybody has been placing in some of these games. Well, what about the eliminations? On day number 1, both of them, a part of this duo, finished in the top 10 for individual eliminations, 10 and 11 respectively, for a combined total of 21.
They were popping off, right? And that's the kind of thing, especially when, you know, we want to see controller players represented. You know, he's a controller player. For the throwback on for that one every day. But look, I think when it comes to how they play in this server, they need to stick to what was working with them. Be aggressive as possible when you can.
That's right, guys. I'm getting word we are so close. So let's kick it on up to Jacob PR and MDF to keep this moving.
Thank you so much, Zeke. Let's keep this show on the road. I'm so excited here. It's game 1 in just a few moments. The expectations are through the roof.
That's right, and you already know it's gonna be explosive. So as we start to gear up now, let us do it, because game 1 is ready. Game number 1 of the Grand Finals is upon us. We already know what is in store. Nothing but explosive action and early game congestion.
Yeah, we got a couple of off-spawn fights we've seen before. We got even more than that today for the first time. And I think the crowd already knows which ones they want to see right out of the gate. It's only a matter of time before these players actually drop down on this map. And there goes the first one. The crowd, everybody's been waiting for this one. The rematch, Thomas and Malabuka versus Kanata and Agers.
Kanata said it. He has the best drop. He's always going to touch first, and they do just that. But Thomas HD does have a weapon as well. Kanata has a side angle here onto Thomas HD, and he draws the first tags. It's a trade, but he gets the full finish, and he won't get healed. And now, Kanata and Agers are on top, game number 1.
We've already seen what they can do with the freedom of their drop spot. First place throughout the day, but they ended up in second. They're looking to mimic that type of play. Cammy and Seti, even though they might have been contested to start day number 1, they were able to pull through. They pushed that team away, and now they have claimed Frenzy Fields as their own.
What an incredible set of eliminations over at the racetrack. But look, Seti and Cammy have to as well. Who would have thought they would have been contested here on the drop? So the Frenzy Fields is not safe at all.
This is a little bit of that replay. That's Danis and
Oh, they
Stain, and a
came back.
monster shot already coming out from Seti. He finishes that one. On the other side of things, you've got to imagine Cammy chased them down. A huge start for our European powerhouse.
And vamos for Kitos and PH Zin also sitting at 2 eliminations here. That means the Shady being fully contested. They win their off-spawn fight. What a grand finals this is. Already multiple teams going head-to-head. It's Sphinx with the clutch up on Cammy and Carmi and Vanyak there.
That is huge. Sphinx,
Wow.
he gets both of those eliminations. Even though Poyo did go down, he has a chance to bring him back, but in the minimap, you already see two hungry teams looking at that direction. That's third-party opportunities. One of them is going to be Reet. The other one is going to be Rituals. All over the map, these teams are going to hear these fights, Monster, and they're going to try to third-party as fast as they can. They know Surge, it's hard to come by in lobbies just like this.
This is the fastest we have seen 14 players go down of any game we've watched over this entire weekend. Who would have thought this would be the most explosive time? Let's go take a look at some eliminations here. PH Jin took on Axe Force and Robot from down low. The angles were so good, and this is how they converted.
In a little game of hide and seek with Roban. Axe Force trying to do the same thing, but he's just getting spotted out from all angles. PHN looking like a Christmas tree ornament at the top, and he definitely uncovered his presence, and that's 8 points.
Eye drop, but hold up, hold that thought. We have Podesai, we have Snazy already finding an elimination here. They're just gonna hold on to the down body, and we already know what they want to do. They want to keep this body up and healthy to try to farm as much Surge as possible. That's the way you play it. MA Podesai, MA Snazy have worked so hard to get here. We saw the difficult hurdle that they have to overcome just to get here.
Yeah, I think they're looking for some barrels, anything that they can use to try to keep them alive. We've already seen this strategy on day one, thanks to Zagu and Pepoclip. It was mimicked in day two, and this is why you know teams know that Surge is going to be a hard thing. They're med-misting the down body. They're doing everything they can just to give themselves a little bit of an edge early on in this game, even using the kinetic blocks. Every single tool in their tool belt is coming out early.
Hey, listen, we know that pro players keep strategies hidden, but my gosh, everyone is putting this to use, and we have to honestly give all credits to Pepoclip and Zagu for revealing it early, but I think they put this strat on the map.
Yeah. He's here. The French go very loud in the building. They like that strategy as well. And this is a fight I feel like we haven't talked too much about. Peterbot and Byla versus Bugha and Threads over towards Sanguine Sweets. In theory, it's so big, you can split this drop. There is a ton of loot, almost 100 chests, maybe a little bit fewer than that, but that allows for both of these teams to play the way that they want. One of them has already captured that vault. It's got to be Peterbot and Byla. So Bugha and Threads, instead of contesting it, they're just trying to farm up. They're just trying to get their loadout set and ready so they can make their first rotation when the zone begins to pull.
Let's not forget, Peterbot used to play with Bugha as well, you know, so there is some history there as they're going head-to-head, but Kaizen, Clement right now looking pretty solid here, just trying to get their rotation down, pack team right on their heels. Meanwhile, Teeny potentially up against Thoric out there in the feed. We get to jump on over to Sentin and Polarize versus the youngins here, Fanyajin. Moneymaker's by himself. What can he do here?
Yeah, it was in game 5 where Moneymaker and Fnaim were able to qualify for this stage itself. Sentin and Polarize did it by brute forcing their way through with already one knock. It's a 2v1 situation. And they're just trying to regain as much real estate as possible. All those pieces are theirs, and Moneymaker's doing what he can to bob and weave in and out of these covers, but his back is up against the wall. He's getting trapped little by little. The first elimination is going to be cleaned up, and they finally get the second. Moneymaker goes down. Polarize and Sentin make a statement at their drop.
Explosive, quick, easy, and trapped, put down. Well played for Sentin and Polarize there. They're going to be happy about that. Threats lingering everywhere, though. How is this still happening? There are more fights happening. It's Muzz and Paper. This time, onto the Brazilian duo.
Yep. Muzz, a duo region champion from both OCE and NA, teaming up with Paper. Paper's probably a very, very aggressive player. He knows how to play smart as well, just a full-on balanced play style. They switched up their drop spot from Breakwater Bay. They wanted to be uncontested, but quickly find themselves in yet another fight. But you see all these teams in the minimap, they're converging on their location because they want to try to get that free surge of what they think it is.
No one wants to fall behind, but now we get to look at Teeny and Misha jumping inside. This is how Thoric was taken down there. Thoric and Bolts have a difficult task in front of them now that they have Misha and Teeny. And that's the first time we've actually seen them find early success. They were contested in those other brackets, as we saw throughout the weekend.
Yeah, in upper bracket 1, they went ahead towards the north side of the map. They tried to go against Baka and Pars. They got pushed off, then they went into their bag of tricks. They did exactly what they did to qualify up until this point, and those tricks will continue. And how long has it been, Monster? A couple of minutes already, and they're still farming that Surge onto Striker. These guys are setting the bar high when it comes to Storm Surge. There's going to be very few teams that will be able to keep up with them if they keep at this pace.
Yeah, they're trying to get themselves well and far ahead of the competition. It's an excellent strategy, and it's hard to replicate. You have to put yourself in that position. Notice how far they had to rotate just to get there as well. So positioning for that, setting up for that is no easy feat. You have to respect it, but this is high-level Fortnite. Here we go, though. Burst Dash, Tayson. Big fight here. Chicho and Trulex on the other side of the Slappy Shores. Already gonna need a move here shortly, but Metal gotta cap out first.
Yeah, and this was another drop, or at least the south side of Slappy that was contested. Trulex and Chicho versus Quanti and TK. Either Quanti and TK rotated out fast, or they got dropped off very, very quickly by Trulex and Chicho. Find out about that later, but Acorn and Cold, probably one of the most dominating performance in the upper bracket. In the international stage, for all that matter, they're looking to try to continue that run, but right out of the gates, we knew they were contested by both Pink and Vico, and it looks like both of these teams might have decided to split the drop. It's only game 1 of 6, so that could change very, very quickly, but they're trying to feel this lobby out. It's a much different set of players than they faced in that upper bracket.
Extremely proud of what Team Dignitas and Agent have been able to put together with their rosters. The performances are amazing, and again, Grand Finals, of course, is what matters most. We'll see where everyone ends up, but Flixie, Gripey here, seem to have been getting into a little bit of a hustle, a little bit of a fight here against our favorite Mr. Savage and Vadil. Vadil is one of the most dangerous when it comes down to toe-to-toe battles and defending in situations like this, but there's nothing you can do against two of the best. Flixie, Gripey, they closed it out.
Yeah, they've been battling it out almost all year long, from major qualifiers to major grand finals. Flixie and Gripey, you know what? I think they're a little underrated at this point. I think everybody who qualified for this lobby is dangerous. They need to be able to come out on top in a lot of these exchanges, and you cannot overrate any of your opponents at any stage of this game.
There's two regions I wouldn't want to go toe-to-toe in an early box fight with. It's anyone from the previous NA West, now of course NA, but also EU players, and unfortunately that's exactly who are the ones asking those questions. Pixie and Cheatin', however, though, are going to fend off several pair of EU ones themselves. This is match 1 of the grand finals. Things are already heating up. 81 players remaining in the lobby, and Pixie gets punished.
That's a huge amount of damage, both of them getting dropped down low. Luckily for them, they do have the med miss at the very minimum, so they can get themselves up to tip-top shape. Mixon and Blaha are the ones dealing a lot of that damage. They have the early game high ground, and they're willing to stay in Storm a little bit, even though they don't have any HP heals, because they realize how hard it is for Surge. You can find bandages, you can find berries, you can find a leftover med kit, but it's that Storm Surge that you're not going to be able to find for free.
They're very behind on material, so we'll see if they can bounce back. Duke and Edgy, what a performance we saw. Arguably stealing away a moment of the weekend. The clutch from them, honestly solidifying their position, their placement here amongst the best. What are they going to be capable of here this weekend?
That clutch was just absolutely insane, and how supportive Edgy was as well. Just shows the chemistry between these two and why they are an NA FNCS champion, why they are playing in a lobby just like this. A lot of the players here know how to win in their region. It's the international stage that takes just a little bit more effort. Kaizen and Clement quickly trying to rotate. They're one of the teams. They just don't want to get stuck too far out in the zone. And I think if any of these 2 days have shown you anything, is you don't want to get stuck behind the rest of the lobby when they're trying to hold you out. It forces you to waste your heals. It forces you to waste all of your resources just to make it into the zone very, very early on.
Super proud of Worthy and Alex again, representing for OCE, the only team and duo from the OCE region to make it to the finals stage here, and they already have the elimination. Something to be extremely proud of. They're on the move here. Gonna get dead center zone 3 right now. They've scored 30+ points in every match coming out of day 1. And day 1, by the way, was the most difficult of the 2 brackets.
Yeah, and kind of
Day 1 was a
impressive it is,
day 2
because Kanata Nagers did the same thing. They got second, and I believe Alex and Worthy were somewhere like 6, at least into the top 7. Renus and Yanis Reason and Giannis
Reason and
here
Giannis.
over towards Breakwater Bay, and they've been traveling a lot. What they're trying to do here
Giannis.
is they're trying to go to the slow side of the zone where the least amount of players will be sitting, trying to hold them out. The
Wow,
only worry that I'm going to have for
مبعدهم.
them is where
الصورة
they're going to
خدني.
get their surge from. Have they got enough with those 2 eliminations already? Because as we know, those off-spawn battles, they don't give very much Storm Surge compared to what you're going to get through the mid and that late game.
Giannis picking up the steady hands augment there as well, just
ATS
waiting
Bobby.
to really decide what direction he's going to take his augments in. You have to also now look to study those decisions moving forwards, but here we have AJS Bobby, AJS Larpex, of course, joining up together here. The Rumble Ruins is their home at the moment. They're just looking around
Rumble
for surge
Ruins
tags,
هم
nothing yet. NA options in the distance, EU options here.
بس نطلع انت هون.
Vask, what's it going to be? Here comes the Rift Island.
مين راح يروح لها؟
This is going to get good. In day 1, we didn't see too many teams try to contest
Rift
it. In
Island.
day 2, it was like a house party on top of Rift Island. Everybody wanted to join, and it does look like Hen and Vasquez might be the first ones to try to contend it. They did get it in game 1 of the lower bracket, and that was a huge part of their
وصل
success
بدون
very,
يدمج.
very early on. They were able to keep up the pace and eventually qualify for our grand finals here today, and they're looking to try to mimic that. And you see, there's not very many other players that are going up towards Rift Island.
Free
That might be
15
a free
نقطة.
15 points and
كيف؟
very, very valuable slurp juices.
Exactly. For those of you in attendance here, for those of you looking back at this island is worth 15 points if you can secure the objective. It is going to draw in the lot of the players. If
Miro
you can
Cooper.
get 15 points, that is the equivalent of 3 or 4 eliminations worth of points there. So it really can
Cooper
send you
Miro.
very far ahead. This becomes a very interesting time to play the game now for
13
Miro and Cooper
300
because
لا
they
مستحيل
have
بلا.
decided they want to fight for it, and they are a very
26 يا بابا.
dangerous team when it comes down to them making a decision and sticking to it. They'll commit.
يب
Yep, does look
جابوها.
like though Vasquez and Hen were able to capture it. They were there first. If there's 2 people
Oh.
going ahead and capturing it, it goes much faster than if it's just a solo.
اللاعبين
So
هذول
Cooper
كثير
and
منيحين
Miro,
باللعب.
they're ready for that extra prize, the alternative, the height, the elevation. That way they can get surged. But Peppo
ما
Cook
هذا لا
and
طبعا.
Zaku in another fight against Rue and Mshari over on the other side, just battling for those pieces. Mshari just sitting high
هذا
on
العربي
that
هو
mountain.
صح؟
He's not really worried about his teammate.
هذا
He
عربي.
trusts him to play safe, and that's a massive amount of trust in a lobby just like this.
I can't believe it. I can't believe he didn't go down there to try to
صح يا
support.
عربي.
He says, hey man, you
توقع.
have this. Defense comes out of Rue, plays very well. And now they're above
دكن
the
هذا
surge
معه.
as Mshari is finding tags here in the process too. Meanwhile, Zagu Peppo, 475 damage above the surge. They are in an excellent position right now. They shouldn't have to move any much further.
Yep, in the feed there.
Kanada,
I see
man.
Kanada go down. I saw Mishi go down.
Ooh, here.
Yeah. And that's
Why?
the battle that they were having. You see Agers a solo against Teeny over on the other side. Steno and Lushi might possibly be looking to take advantage of this opportunity.
Atlantic,
But that's
هذول
8
من
points down their
أستراليا.
sights. They know 23 above
طب.
the damage threshold. It's enough to not have to worry about Storm Surge actually doing damage, but it's not enough for comfortability. So they're on the hunt for
مية
even more, but they're
13
just on the
ساعة
receiving
update.
end of so many other players
500
trying to put their hand in
وسبعة.
the cookie jar.
نص
Is
مليون.
Acorn and Cold. Agers here, of course,
This
trying to
is
extract revenge now as Kanata was taken out. He still finds himself
Okay.
very comfortably in the
YouTube,
safe zone here, so he'll be
YouTube.
all right. Even has some extra
Win the
heals, of
gaming.
course, remaining. It's going to be pretty tough to play this
Hey.
one out. Yes, they have 2 elims. We have to see how Team
121,000
turn that fight
بس
around.
620,000
Have to wonder what went
اسمع.
wrong. Kanata
وباور
caught out,
من بعد
looking for
Okay.
tags and low on HP. Teeny and Misha waste no
Teeny,
time
Misha.
finding that one.
Immediately, and they are well above the damage threshold as well, giving themselves a good and early start. But Queasy and Veno, they know how to play almost every facet of the game,
بس ما عندهم ولا
early,
كلمة.
mid, and late. They made some quick rotations over towards Kenjutsu Crossing, and they're probably one of the most deep teams that land on that side of the map. They're over towards Shattered Slabs now,
Beam and trees.
193 above the damage threshold, and you can see that they're not necessarily going over towards Rift Island because they know in these next couple of zones,
Oh.
it's going to pull away from Rift Island.
مين
If they don't
تخرج
want to
بشيء؟
get too close, then I have to rotate far if it does pull max.
You know what? We haven't seen a zone like this. Hard west, full west, right? Really giving teams on this side an opportunity to have the advantage and start off strong. Momentum is
بعدين ريبوت
everything.
يعمل.
Sometimes all it takes is securing that first game. Teeny goes for the save in the zone.
شوف
here,
فيش
so
حدا
Misha
بده هون
will
فيش حدا بديد
potentially
سايد
be picked up,
ولا حدا بديد سايد
possibly
ولا
be able to
اعتقد
situate
حيجي
and get
زون
back
هون
into this, but not crossing
Jump
our
shot
fingers
to
here. It's
shot
a
is not
very
wrong.
difficult thing to bounce back when you start off with nothing.
Yeah, and they're just outside of that Rift Island position where the majority of the lobby already is. So they're just going to have to figure out what they're going to do to rotate, because going straight in is going to cause for some dangerous situations for them to try to survive. So they need to be looking for some heals so that way they can go the long way around, find some safety, and just simply get into the zone. But Pink and Vico here, you can see the split. We talked about a contested drop, but they actually choose to go their separate ways. They're 225 above the damage threshold, and they're looking
225.
safe for now. They're trying to figure out what their rotation is going to be. It is a pretty
وين
far
بوغا
rotation,
ثريتس
but not
وبيتر
too far
بات
from some of the other
وولدر
players here
ايز
in this
مال
lobby.
بوغا وين
First knock is going to get cleaned up. Steno's there by himself.
يمكن هذا
You can see
مع
they're not
كولد
getting
مات
greedy. They're not just trying to bulldoze for it and try to grab that loot. They're
No
just saying,
work
hey, let's
for
just grab the surge.
it.
That is going to be enough, but they get a crest on momentarily. That was bold to try to make magic happen, but he goes out like a light.
That's crazy. He tried to time that, and it just backfired completely as another team also started to look inwards, and they pick up a set of eliminations there.
threats
What a
هي
huge
threats.
point swing.
بوغا
And
مات
Vico there. Meanwhile, in the feed, Peterbot down, Booga down.
Peterbot
True,
mad.
so many exchanges here to catch up
بس
on.
بايلات
The
الواحد
landscape is changing right before our eyes.
Even Pink in the feed getting Steno as well. Him and Lushi. Look like
أتوقع كويزي وفينو هلا حيروح الهايت كمان شوي.
Yeah.
Threats being a solo, though, I'm not really worried about Threats being a solo because he clutched up big for their qualification spot. He got a second place. They
كيف
had
ما
9
بتلزق؟
eliminations as a duo.
كيف ما حب
He has to do
يلزق؟
it with a surge just hovering over his shoulders.
A lot of players on the move right now. If you look at that right map, all of those arrows flying are teams trying to navigate their
بيتي
way
رايز
through these zones.
على
They
ايكورن
have to be very
كود
cautious. Take a look though. Rise tries to go in with
هيك
the hero
قتلوه.
play here, finds
بس
Cole,
المشكلة
but
السيرفر
Acorn
كثير
is
ملقلقين
there to
السيرفرات.
back him up. But Rise slips out of there
السيرفرات
without
كثير
getting
ملقلقين.
taken down, so he finds Cold and gets right on
من
out.
517
That was
ألف.
perfect timing with Acorn
Wow.
trying to plan an escape. And they just bulldoze their way right in. You can see why. Barely being 118 above the damage threshold. At that stage of the game, they were probably below. So they needed to go ahead and
Cammy
pad that
Seti.
stat. Now they have Cammy and Seti in their lines of sights. They don't have to move far. They got the half and half zone. So for them, it's just a sit and wait scenario that
Vino,
allows them to
polarized
be
man.
consistent. But there's so many superstars around him. I already mentioned Cammy and Seti, Queasy and
Threats,
Vino are
man.
to their
خلاص
right.
راحوا.
So this is a
راح بوغا
dangerous
وثreats.
area of the map to be in. But I think it's a little bit more safer than all those players just to the north outside of zone.
Yeah,
نصرت
pretty dicey right now
أثر
for
حاله
sure, but if you're
بالزون.
Young Rise, you're pretty happy that there's not that much going
Oh,
on
full
around you that
damage.
can kind of deter
وهذا
them
أثر
from
حاله.
the
كيف
battle
أثر
next.
حالهم؟
Alex and Worthy also comfortably positioned at the safe zone here.
ساتي
Jump on over
ساتي
to
هيك
Seti and
بفوز.
Cammy, 2 eliminations so far from the start.
ساتي
Nothing else
نسيتهم
since
هدول
then, but
نسيتهم.
we haven't saw problems this time around with the surge, so they are in a
Seti,
very
Seti.
sweet spot here right now. Also, just nestled so nicely here, and look, they can look down on players trying to come out the low ground.
Yeah, so many big names are already out of this lobby, and we haven't even been given placement points just yet, so there's still so much work to do. You can't get behind that curve as Cammy and Seti feeling like they're comfortable in their position for now, waiting for all those players to try to rotate in. But MK Papa and Shalom looking like they might get a sneak attack onto Podesai and Snazy. They just need to be patient here. They go for the 3-2-1 onto the cover. No shots actually go through to Podesai. That gives them information of where they're located at. So they're going to about face and go a little bit of a different direction now.
It's like Rapid lost
هلا
his
كل
teammate
الناس
Batman
بيعرفوا
Buga
محل
as he's
وجهه.
not nearby.
تيم
Hands
بوغا
of
مات.
Mashari not too long ago.
ومشاعري
Papa
العربي
and Shalom,
توقع.
though, still looking around, playing the bush, very nicely done. Everyone else is nestled pretty far off, so we get to jump in
Vino
with Vino and
Queasy.
Queasy, see how they are doing. A little update, a single elimination, so
كل
not
واحد.
really turning online too far yet. As far as
100
the
builds مع
overall
موارد كثير.
heal situation, I'd say they're
Oh,
middling
إدام
in the
الزون.
pack.
وعم
Material
يقول
count
الزون.
wise, is it enough for them to play for high ground? I
519
think yes,
ألف
and they're
يا ساتر.
probably thinking
هي
we should go
أول
for it.
أولى.
Yeah, they're probably just gathering all the information
Wow.
around the map for now. Figure out what's the best position, who's already on height, how do we chop them down and make it our own. We've seen that
You need
happen
Peter
to
Butt.
start
That
our
win Peter
tournament
Butt.
on Friday. They grabbed high ground,
GT
they
Rise.
looked down and never
ويامزو.
looked back as they took the game. They actually qualified off that game, 93 points when 91 was the threshold. They kept playing out because it's all about bragging rights, proving that they are the best, just like Iamzo and Rise. And they quickly move to the front side of the zone, so that way when it does begin to move, they secure their spot and they look back
هم
and try to
الوحيدين
work
بفرونت زون
anybody
هلا.
out and get eliminations.
Well, they're
شوف ما
here,
بيجي محل
they're
الوقت
early,
معاه.
and now they can start to
You need to
determine what
be
they're going to do.
intervening.
Everyone's on the move here once again. Rocket Rams coming into full effect.
Cammy with
Meanwhile, on
under
high
Seti.
ground, Cammy, Seti trying to be the first to set up. The base is wide, the base is strong.
الهاي
And
جراوند.
they get the first dibs already. There are other teams cranking up though. They don't want to just give them all this elevation for free.
كامي
And the
كامي.
fact that they're committing
Okay,
with
Acorn
Metal
man.
does mean they will have a problem. Meanwhile, Acorn does fall, so Acorn and Cold now taking
ما عندوش
out
موارد.
of this game. Chicho left by himself
صفر موارد.
to play this one out as a solo as well. Those were his last remaining builds.
فيش موارد.
By himself, he's trying to play patiently, waiting for anybody to run past him, not knowing that he's there. Try to hit a little bit of a peekaboo, and that's going to be a
Peekaboo.
massive refresh because not only is it hoping it gets the Siphon mats, it gets the
Duke.
Siphon itself to get his heals up, and that's going to be big.
Duke
by
عايش
himself, though,
لحاله.
on the other side, which honestly, I don't have too much of a worry. We saw a
الهدلان الأول
1v2
فليكسي.
clutch from Duke yesterday. We know anything is possible here
Okay.
this weekend. And now placement points are
كامي
finally
وسيتي
beginning
بالهاي
to
جراوند
set
لسه
in.
بلشنا.
Very few for now. There's
لسه
still more to come
بلشنا.
if you just survive.
That was an excellent time to
كيف؟
update the
كيف؟
standings, updating in real time right now. So from here on out, as teams fall,
لا،
placement
يلا
points
يلا
will be
هلا عن جد
rewarded.
الانجم هلا يلا.
It is really about
أوه.
surviving this gauntlet of action to come right now. The surge is equally active.
كثير
He's
مدققين
gonna find the solo
سيرفرات.
M. Shari. Big pickup
باور
for
أليكس مات.
and Flixie and Gripey leading here with 5 eliminations now. Front side of the zone, team gets right in front of him. He
باور
tries to
روسي
sneak
قتل
on
واحد.
the box up, but
وأليكس
it's more
مات.
important to
فنش.
stay safe right now. Look at the rotates here. You love to see it. Excellently done.
Rotate
Flixie and Gripey
بجنن.
are really playing well right now.
Yeah, sacrificing some HP. That way they can go to the front side. The high ground battle's going to begin. Cammy and Seti. Vino.
Cammy وسيتي
Queasy
وفينو.
with the bounce pad. The fadeaway shot. Unsuccessful from Queasy and Vino. So the kings of the FNCS Invitational are still on the high ground for now. As Cammy's looking to come crashing down. He's built a little bit of a tower so he doesn't go too far. So all the battles being forced
Duke is
lower
solo.
and lower
Oh.
down in the mud. Duke trying to fight with his back up against the wall by himself. Multiple duos beginning to surround and hound him. Top 17 though. All these points as a solo are
Yes, we know.
massive for their run here in this competition.
This is a battle for Eagle,
Roar.
undoubtedly. Duke looking to see what he can set up, turns around, breaks everyone off fight.
Down goes Cammy.
And down comes Cammy, and then he's looking to target him. Duke is the
وقع
destruction here.
وقع
in the lobby
وقع
by
قتل كامي.
himself With the knock. What a beautifully timed
قتل كامي.
landing spot there, but Cooper hot on his heels here next door. They know he's here.
قتل
Miro
كامي،
comes
قتل
in, they're
كامي.
trying to hunt him out,
سولو.
but he's off to the
كراك.
races. Finds Pixie. Big
ما عندوش
time.
موارد.
You know Duke wants to finish this one.
كامي تفنش.
Can he get it?
جار
In
سايفن.
he goes.
دخل بالبوكس.
He's only gonna take a single tag. He's under the ramp. Goes
Dead.
for it. He gets it.
نزلوه. أوه مات خلاص جديد.
Takes out
يب
Cammy,
جديد.
takes out the next one as well.
منيح منيح
Of
منيح. قتل اثنين قتل
eliminations
اثنين.
keeps on climbing before he finally falls into the top 10. we
قتل
go.
اثنين
Brooks
قتل
also
كامي
solo in
كامي.
this game.
وميرو قتل
4
دوك.
total solos still left alive.
Okay.
No builds. He's
Oh,
trying to make
من
a play,
وراه.
but from the outside of the zone he goes down.
It's
Seti.
Mappy, it's eye drop on high ground. Take a look. Ree is still alive. Seti is still alive. Playing the backside of his zone. Excellently done here. But the high ground comes down a little early. He has a true chance. Seti brings him down. And now he is the one.
هو بالهاي جراوند.
He clutched this out by himself.
موارد جمع موارد.
We thought it was
أوه.
over, but Reek has a
بيت لحاله مات لا.
He goes down
Miro,
into that
control
top
player.
4 we go. The only solo left alive, well, you saw him moments ago. It is going to be Seti. Cooper and Miro almost won a game yesterday. It was stolen away by
Oh,
Bryce
correct.
and Chubbs. Now they're going for some toe tags on Apoyo and Speaks.
ضايل
NA
دوين.
counterparts
دوين
going
وسولين.
at it. Eye drop on the other side, but he gets taken
ضايل
down by
دو
the
واحد
NA
وسولو.
duo. Huge shot
كلهم.
by Miro. Trying to go
دوين.
back to back, but they fall down
Dead.
the mountain. That's going to allow for Apoyo to survive
Dead.
momentarily.
أخ واحد. أوه.
Hot on the chase. He sacrificed
Oh.
himself for the elimination. Seti out
Oh.
of nowhere. Final 2 teams. Miro's trying to stay alive, but there's one duo still left alive, but it's actually a knock. Miro
ده الملمس.
versus Sphinx. NA versus
Miro
NA
Sphinx.
to take
NA.
game number 1.
Incredible that NA will secure this here, but talk about the turn of events here. Miro taking
جمع
down
موارد.
Seti, putting his
بعملش
name
موارد.
in the conversation. People forget what Miro is capable of, but now it's a
Oh,
1v1. Old
high
one
ground.
versus the new.
Full box.
Basically, Miro showing, hey,
قتل.
I'm the big dog of the region. Sphinx says, I want to
ما عندكش
prove
موارد.
that
4
I can
بيلدز.
do
4
it.
بيلدز.
We already know he's the mouth in him, but can he put the bullets
لا
where they
تروح
need to go?
شعلة.
He's put some respect on his name. Miro running out of builds. That's his
مات.
last chance. He
اوه
down. Miro goes out.
ميرو
Finish
مات.
Mario and Sphinx.
GG.
That is their second victory royale on the
550,000 وات
Top there, we
What?
already saw them take a win.
ميرو هاد
Not gonna
126,000
even bring them this far into the stage, and now they are
GG's.
proving that they can do it on the biggest
GG.
stage
مين هاد؟
against the best.
What they have to say that's going to be it from us though, because I want to
أو ناكر نعم
two
صح
wins on the weekend.
GG 98,000 يا
You
ساتر
proved you can get a victory royale on LAN in the upper
Wow.
bracket, and now you proved you can get a victory royale
ميرو كان
in
قرب
the
يفوز
grand
ضيعها
final. Talk to me about those last moments in game. Did you manage to talk less?
I would say so, a little bit less. I think my comms were more
حكى شوي
clear.
قليل
I mean, you were having to compete yourself in that
99,000
1v1.
أتوصل
How
100
did you
طبعا
manage knowing someone was above you on the high ground?
I
300
just have the
توصل
best
100,000
awareness at this land right now, so like obviously I
300
know there's a
توصل
band above
100,000
me, you know, I'm just like that.
But what are you thinking though? Because he can jump on you at any
200.
time.
I'm thinking I think like 25
لا أنا
builds
قلت
about,
شيء.
I'm, you know, I'm best fighter, best
بخمس
producer, so I was like,
مية
all right,
وأربعة
I'll just go
وستين.
up 200
Okay.
pump. That's what I did.
And you waited and then he fell down and he did the job for you.
خمسين يلا
Poyo, what was it like starting out today with
101,000
I was dead. I didn't really do much that game, so he actually went crazy there.
يا
and you let him
ساتر
just talk his way through it. You didn't give him any advice or guidance.
Nah, I just told him just fast. and he did the
100,000
rest.
500
Now, going
What?
forward, you've got to try and maintain this consistency. You've managed to get your
Okay,
way
okay.
through an aggressive lobby.
570,000
yourself
والله
managing to top the
باليوتيوب
competition
ببصر
again.
قديش
Yeah, we just need to live off spawn. I think we can do good at literally every game.
All right, well, good luck in those off-spawn battles, boys.
باليوتيوب
Congratulations.
129
Everyone give it up for Sphinx.
فمع بعض بيطلعوا 700,000 يا ساتر تقريبا 800,000 يا ساتر
Polio and
yeah.
Sphinx looking to set the tone on the day. If there's anything I learned from game number one, these next couple games are going to be chaos.
I mean, that game was pretty much everything that we wanted, right? We saw the matchups happen towards that end game that we really wanted to see, but it was the clutch.
Bunch of
Right? We
leader
always
boards, bunch
talk
of
about
leader
being on the
board.
global stage. It requires you
Events.
to go ahead and clutch up when it requires, and honestly,
71
Sphinx right here, this
points,
shot
Cammy
when the
and
Cooper,
Thunder
this was the one that
Seti.
sealed the deal.
بدون ما يفوز
That
الجيم
changed the tempo of the end game completely. From that moment onwards, it's like
بدون ما
he said,
يفوز
he's
الجيم
just like that, you know. He's
من
gonna
آخر
go
آخر
through and
بليس
win the whole thing. And I mean, it wasn't an easy
مالبوك
finish, right? They were going back and forth a bit. It was only the material.
بيج
that was
بوغا
able to let
0
Miro
نقاط
down. And Sphinx was just had a bit
ما
more
يصير
even though, as you
ايكول
said,
نقطتين
he
لا
just was playing
لا
around with the
لازم
stairs, and it wins him the game as well.
بس كلين
Again,
جاب
a team that has already shown they can
يجوز
win on
كندا
this stage, and they do it once again.
Just
العرب
stay
هيهم.
calm, cool, and
و-
collected in a
ثلاث
situation.
كلات
Many
العرب.
duos would look at their material
اوكي
count,
اوكي منيح
what they have in
يعني
the tank,
اشي
and just
منيح
go, this is it.
كان شوف اني
Start
برايس
Hail
فول
Marrying, I don't know anymore, but Sphinx just said, no, no, no.
500,000
I've been in grands before.
بير
I've
بلاي
been
اه
in these
بلاير
situations.
ايرن لكل واحد
You know,
500,000
they're up top. Let's break those builds. Let's bring them
يا
down.
ساتر
And unfortunately, Cooper and Miro did
يعني
fall, but
مليون
still a
بفوز
second
أول.
place for them. I mean, starting the
مليون.
day with 84 points, that's pretty good.
That's not
89
bad at
points.
all, but look, Spoyo and Sphinx
89
up above
points.
89. I know their parents out here to
يعني
support
مش
them
دول
as well.
أول
But I
مقارنة
actually
قلت
flew into Copenhagen for this event.
Yep,
I was in
89
the airport
points.
with Poyo's dad, and he was
وكوبر
like,
بيرو
"Good
الفاز
luck to everyone.
لا
My
هدول
son's
ضيعوا
going.
الجيم
I want my son
لو انه
to
فازوا
win.
جيم
That's
كان
what
هلا
I'm
اول
as you always love to see. And right now, I'm sure he will be beaming from ear to ear to see his son sitting in first place.
هذا عرب تيسن هو عربي صح؟
Number one, but listen, we got to talk about some of those
أتوقع أو
higher
مرتاح مش
profile
عارف.
duos, of course, Cammy and Seti
هذا
coming in
السعوديين
third place.
24.
The All-Spawn wasn't what we expected.
I mean, it wasn't right, but they did so well, right? We tuned into them, we see them with two limbs, and I think everybody sort of knew what that meant. We weren't expecting Datus and Stain to contest them. They had said they were going to land somewhere else a bit, right? But clearly, a
Wow.
misdirect to try and fake them out. But Cammy and Seti were prepared. And in that endgame, Seti survived as a solo for so long.
Which is very uncharacteristic for this duo. Actually, usually most of their points, a high percentage of
ليش؟
them actually come from when they are a duo alive, right? Usually their points fall off whenever there's a solo clutch opportunity, but Seti's showing up.
Yeah, you don't associate either of them, as great of players they are, you don't associate either of them with mega solo clutches, right? You look at some of the other elite EU names, a lot of them, you think of them and you think solo clutches. Thomas Malabuka, right? You know, Venno, even Queasy, you know, these guys you expect to solo clutch. Cammy and Seti showing us right now, yeah, if one of them's a solo in these games, they will step up.
And I think for them, like obviously Seti's a little disappointed there. He wanted
Love
to take it
you,
farther.
Cammy
But
and
ending as
Seti.
a solo in this situation, on this stage, and ending third place, My bad, Seti. I
هذا
mean,
أي
I know
جيم
you're
هذا
keen
الجيم
consistency
الأول
and
خلص
stuff, so if you
بشوي
just do that a couple more times.
فازوا
I mean, we're in for the running.
تيم
Queasy
غريب
Benno
من
as
كوريا
well
أتوقع.
performing. I thought it was interesting. Like, I love seeing how
أي
all of
لا
these
هم أني إيس أني إيس هي بولو توين
we saw there in the
سفينكس
mid game.
أني إيس أني إيس
Cammy on the
يوروب
high ground, Queasy Benno on the
أنا
front side of
بعرفش
zone. So all these
يوروب
duels are just looking for those windows, right?
Yeah, for sure. And in this end game, with
أول جيم فازوا في
I
أني
want to
إيس
give a big shout out to
بتقاتل على هاي جراوند
that was going
كويزي
very
وكامي وبينا
He wanted to put an end to
Oh,
everybody's game that he could as a solo. As
كان
well,
meet
right? So
below
a
50
bunch of really
oh
sick solo clashes. Oh, that's painful. I didn't realize that's how Queasy went down there.
Oh.
Full damage, a full damage getting everybody so far in game one.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, that was pretty much the head-to-head battle that we wanted to see on the higher ground. Honestly, though,
GG's
Cammy and Seti picked up more points for that.
انتوا شو بيحكوا
Zeke, I
البرو
was really
بلايرز
impressed.
كليكس ديش شيك شكله طيب باكي هذا ما تعرف
I think I would have top 10, bro. I think I would have top 10. Just this weekend.
كان بيعمل توب 10 مين هذا نشوفه
Parce que là, devant nous, les gars, au-dessus de nous, là, c'est.
اه دول اللغة غريبة عمار لغته غريبة صح
Slicks, Onkel, Flip und Spark. Danke für die Subs. Spark sogar schon mal. Ich will heute nochmal leuchten. Das war ganz cool.
Machen die das, glaube ich, nochmal?
Ich glaube, bestimmt safe im Halftime.
Ja, safe.
Halftime
Willi liegt sogar für Geld, Chat, by the way. Also, falls ihr noch nicht wusstet.
بدك تحكي عربي
Rovero, Chat, mit 20 Verschenken.
Person that got to hear the crowd more than anybody else throughout that game would have been Thomas HD and Malabuka.
What is
right?
Bog
You know, they
Stick?
went down Osborne. That was the first fight we saw, right? Up against Canada and Aegis. They went down not the way you want to start the competition, right? You want to get into the swing of things, especially with all the cheers Thomas and them were getting coming into things. Again, when you go back into that Osborne fight the next time round, how do you now come into it mentally? You don't want to have to sit there and watch the whole game all over again.
Out with the let's go ahead and take the kinetic rock all the way across the map. Let's take this body. Let's get Surge. Absolutely crazy. I do want to talk more about this, but I'm getting word. We are ready to get back into the action. We have game number 2 upon us. So casters, on over to you.
Games. That's all we want this weekend is more games. And that first one, Monster, that was so exciting to really start off the day.
It was perfect. EU versus NA, and the big names really showing up. We saw the rivalry for high ground. So already the early story starting to begin. But most importantly, 14 healers on the early game. Let's see it here for game number 2.
What's up, McCreamy? How are you? How's it going? Leave up code. All right, chat. That was a
We're in it. We're here to win it all. A huge early game that was won by both Poyo and Sphinx, and they carried it all the way to the end. I said they were the first team to get 2 this weekend. Will they be the first team to go back-to-back and get their 3rd victory royale on the weekend? Only time will tell for that one. But the rematch, probably everybody here in the arena wants to see. Thomas, Malabuka, Kanata, Agers, let's get it.
Let's watch it. Sphinx is going to be able to watch in the distance there too. So who's going to be the first to touch down? Who's going to be the first to land? Shots coming in this time. It's Malabuka who gets tagged. So does Agers. So both sides already. And Malabuka gets a weapon. He finds Agers with a huge tag. Kanata's already down. And they're finished. They're done.
The power will see power
That
matches.
was a huge start for Malabuka. Gets that Havoc suppressed and immediately goes to work.
On this cam,
And it was him. It was actually him who was getting tagged on the sky. I thought that was going to be a huge advantage for Kanata and Agers. They weren't able to clean that one up. We saw the contested fight in the replay. The first game, Cammy and Seti get pushed off the actual barn. So it is going to start as a little bit of a split jump here over towards Frenzy Fields.
It really shows us that they were caught off guard game 1 for the 50-50. Here's TK, here's Quanti over at the Slappy Shores. They are also contested down in this area by Tayson. And you can see that they just barely got away with it. Actually, it was Chicho and Trulex as well. Remember, there's like about 3 teams here, actually. Slappy Shores is just not big enough.
Everybody's trying to go to the beach someday. But for now, the actual south side of Slappy is going to go to TK and Quanti. They have access to that vault. It isn't the most massive vault with Mythics, but you still are able to get a ton of loot. And Misha and Tini doing it again. They switch up their drop spot once more. They go on over to where Baka and Pars at. They're going to go and see. They haven't really looted up at all. Will Baka and Pars take the bait?
This is a very
مستحيل
Interesting
مستحيل
position to be in, of course, because you have the chest here as a
مستحيل
potential
تظبط
option. So
مستحيل.
you have to think about it. Anything can happen here.
I feel like everybody at this stage in the game has been conditioned to know this is a viable strategy. Because like I said, in the lower bracket, or in the upper bracket, they were contesting Baka and Pars. Didn't work out for them. They switched up their strategy. They started doing exactly this, playing roulette with their drop spots to try to sneak up on some teams. And that inevitably was what got them across the finish line. And it's only a matter of time before Baka and Pars go in this direction. It's no matter what the result will be.
And this is what we talk about, teams hiding strategies, teams really sitting back and thinking about, okay, what haven't we tried yet in the upper bracket and lower bracket that we're sitting on, that we're waiting on, that we can then put into play to give us the advantage on Championship Sunday.
They have some sorts of feeling. See him hopping over the covers. They know they're around here somewhere. They probably already seen them drop just a little bit. But the bait has been taken. Down goes one of them. Misha and Teeny strike yet again. Now Pars is stuck by himself. And immediately you see him creating distance between him and his counterparts. He doesn't want to be the next one on their hit list.
And we don't want to be the ones to give away the edge. So to keep it low, to keep quiet there was a tough one. But take a look at that. Misha and Teeny, 2 games in a row. Surprise, surprise. They have made so much adjustment from the upper bracket to today. It really has shown so far in the last 2 games, but now Teeny has to still close this out with Misha.
Yeah, they went from 2 builds to 53 thanks to Baka and that elimination. Pars is trying to fight with his back up against the wall. Shots also coming in from the third party. Everything comes crashing down. But Pars is still able to put up a good defense for now. But Teeny's hot on his heels. First shot's gonna be landed. Pars goes down to the low ground, and the 2v1 has been secured. Misha and Teeny strike first.
What a play. What an ambush set up there. Definitely highlight worthy. Meanwhile, we jump in with Vico, Pink. Their draw spot split by Acorn and Cold. You can see that they have lost a fair amount of the advantage of the general area, but it hasn't affected them that much. They have still maintained a very, again, more or less successful setup. In the feed, I saw that Cold might have picked up Scented there, so already down south, some action going on right now. Acorn and Cold here looking very much solid as they're going against Polarized. Polarized by himself, getting pieced up, boxed up, now forced onto the back foot here. This is a favorite here. Cold does get punished, but he's got his teammate here to back him up.
Yeah, trade in shots, bait and switch. Acorn trying to alleviate some of that pressure, but Polarized keeps trying to break his way into the box, but he gets denied entry more than once. Now Acorn's simply going to try to hold the covers, peek through, try to figure out where Polarized is at. Give Cold time to heal up. Zip line. That one's going to be noticeable. Now Acorn has to make the decision. Do I just go straight up into him? Do I continue to play my game out? And I saw third-party shots coming in. He hits it. He goes right back up. Zip line once more. Polarized goes down, but it's not the team you thought. Cooper steals that one away.
Man, that's the worst feeling right there. You put in all that work, all that damage, and 4 points slip away. Meanwhile, Poda, Sai, and Snazy, the M8 boys are back at it again. Oh no, but they couldn't save Striker this time, so lost damage, but the strategy was still there. The idea, still potent.
They've been performing so well this weekend. 90% has to be them, 10% has to be the crowd on their side, fueling them. Anytime they feel like their gas tank is empty, you see a loud cheer from the crowd, and that's a little bit of a refresh in its own mind. But with 1 elimination, they get their surge plan started over towards Shattered Slabs. There's at least 1 team towards the north side. But we got a surprise, we got a treat. We got a little bit of a listen-in of an off-spawn battle.
Wait, what are they?
Listen in, listen.
Take guns and left, take guns and left. I got these guns. 6 white, 9 white, other one. 6 white. Good job, mate. Good job, good job.
Good job, mate.
Big set of eliminations right there. You can hear the comms clear and concise. But for a second there, they didn't know where they actually were.
Yeah.
That's how tough a 50-50 can actually be. Slight, bus route deviation all of a sudden, you're coming in from different angles.
Yeah, that's one thing is can have the best drop, but when everyone's going for the same weapon, Malibuca's the one who won out, which forced Kanata and Aegis elsewhere. But our game one victors, Pollo and Spinx, who probably got a front row seat for that battle. You saw them flying through the sky when that contestation was happening. They looted up. And I got to say their loot is looking pretty impressive. 8 slap splashes, 3 big pots. That's just on Pollo alone. They got a free rotation to where they want to go. You see some shots coming in. A little bit of a warning shot at that. Cammy and Seti contested over towards Frenzy. They won it in game 1. They choose to split it in this next game. And they're going all the way over towards the western side as somebody gets beamed from afar. That's just helping their surge plan all together. But they're just trying to rotate to where they think it's going to go, to where the least amount of teams will try to huddle up.
Meanwhile, Noxie in a fight right now. Chris severely damaged in this battle here, but does manage to find stable ground here. This is going to be a tough one to close out if they allow Asa to bounce back. It does seem like he's got a chance to do so.
Even though he is by himself, we've seen so many teams and players make magic happen. Noxie and Chris, they see him kind of run away. They got to question themselves, is it worth going ahead and pushing forward? You continue the game plan, which you set out up into this point. This zone for now has pulled over towards the western side with a little bit of a north lean. And that's why you see a lot of these teams hovering over towards Shattered Slabs or in this vicinity altogether. And you can see, this is actually pretty unique. You see Kids Boombo in his inventory. That's something I don't see very many people pick up, but if you have the accuracy, you can do a ton of damage on players nearby.
Definitely one of those things. The option has always been there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't see it come into play. A lot of variety already starting to turn online. We'll see what he's capable of with that. Yamzo and Rise, pretty strong game 1. Had some late game appearances there. Another western pull here. This time we're going a little bit more north, up towards the Eclipse State. We'll see how this influences the majority of the lobby, but North teams are pretty happy right now.
And this is why you saw earlier in the game, Cammy and Seti rotating in that direction. They had a feeling it was going to go on that side as Yamzo and Rise just sitting on top of their normal spots of the castle and the gas station, trying to pad up on Surge. And there's going to be a lot of opportunities from teams trying to rotate from the eastern portion of the map as the zone continues to pull on over towards the west. Cooper. They got that early game surge, but it isn't going to be much because they did take away that elimination from Acorn and Cold, who did the brunt of that damage. So for now, it's just about farming up. Miro's the one that's in charge of trying to get those tags on top of that building.
So impressive. So we jump in with Vanyak and Karmi here. Lucy and Seno listening nearby, holding those edits, trying to see if there's a chance to pounce in. Crash pads, but all in all, this is a pretty tough spot to be in. It's gonna be difficult to turn this, situation around. It seems like there's been a drawn-out battle, and Lucy and Seno have been on the losing side.
See that already 7 teams down and out. It's not as active as it was in that last game up until this point, but it's definitely very, very close. You see the augments all out. Fast Fisher, Glider redeploy, Keymaster if they're able to come around to it, and then that first shotgun. It's going to be huge for a lot of these teams that are able to use that Fast Fisher, because we're going over to some of the water spots on our way over, which instantly fishes. Whether you get a flopper to kind of stagger yourself in the zone, or a slurp fish, or any of the shield fishes to go ahead. You see Bugha has one as well. That's instant shields. It's 10 less than a big pot, but it's faster than a big pot altogether.
Definitely important to have those quick heals. Threats on the move right now. They're not happy with being on the outskirts of the zone here. They want to get a little bit more center before other teams start moving in and decide to do so. In the meanwhile, though, they also have to bounce back with some material here. There's a metal reservoir down low, but it's Pollo and Spinx potentially holding that one out. Meanwhile, Mr. Savage looking to find his footing here. Last game was a tough one. He gets the siphon for Vidil and keeps him in the game. That's Trulex. And now Chicho is hurt. In he goes. Still on the hunt. Nicely done. And Savage and Vidil clap back. For the first time today, they have some wind in their sails.
And this is big because we already seen at least one of the teams in our top 5 go down. That's iDrop and Mappy. And as long as a couple more of those teams at the top of the leaderboard go down, that opens the game up wide open for any of these teams to overtake that spot, since it is very, very early on. Mr. Savage and Vidil showing what they can do out of Naughty Nets, which a lot of people don't necessarily like that spot, but that just goes to show how good they actually are. Not only are they on the low ground, they have to cross a river. There's a couple teams they have to get through, so they're doing everything right up until this point.
Already we've seen our first team inside the top 10 fall, which was Janus and Reason there. Getting caught on this rotate here, seeming like the West wasn't good enough for him. You saw Booga's HP there as we were flying by, very hurt as they were coming just past Oyo and Sphinx, but Rift Island spawns in beneath Stain and Datus, a team that absolutely needs to make a comeback. What a better way than to find points other than to take the Rift Island for yourself. Will they go for it?
I already see that they captured a weapon cache with the Slurp Juice in his inventory, throwing a bush directly on top to cloud their space. That way they can fire freely. Not very many players able to kind of tag him back. And you can see the teamwork. Stain's there to try to break the build. They're timing it right, so that way a sniper shot can try to sneak his way through. This is going to be big as Batman, Booga, and Rapid are actually going to be the first team on top of Rift Island. And we saw last game, the team that was on top, they were able to capture it because they were the first ones there with nobody really contesting the actual flag. Let's see if that'll change around this time, now that's more than halfway full.
Rapid and Batman Booga are well on their way to securing it here. I think it will be theirs. Pink and Vigo probably have considered it, but when you're just late to the punch, why jump in? Why take that risk? And it does seem like already now 2 for 2 on teams that snatch it up first. But again, the Rift Island is going to be 15-point swing in any direction if you can grab it.
So much before, that's almost 4 eliminations without actually having to put yourself in a risky situation. And what these other teams are doing, even though they're not trying to contest it, one, probably going for scraps as soon as Batman, Booga, and Rapid leave that location. But most importantly, with that added elevation, they're looking for Storm Surge. They can see the entirety of the lobby. And those teams that have to rotate from the south, from the east, that is who they're looking at most of all to try to get the Storm Surge that they need. You can see they have 224. They're even looking at some of the other teams that are on top of Rift Island as well.
This should very much put Rapid and Batman Booga in the conversation, though.
Yeah.
Rapid, although by himself, he did make some placement last game. Here we jump in with Edgy and Duke so far. 600 above this surge. They're going to be well and fine here. They're positioned very nicely already at the Eclipse Estate, which is near dead center. Do they have the storm eye? Do they know where the storm's going? Because this is some prime positioning right here.
Yeah, we got these forecast towers all around the map. It allows you to read where the zone is going, but Duke had 46 solo impact points in match 1. He was just gobbling up those placement points, and you saw him in those type spots getting eliminations as well, especially when he needed it most for both the Siphon and the Mats. Malibuka and Thomas well above the damage threshold. Even though they're falling, they have more than enough surge to where they don't have to worry about it. For them, they're just trying to see where these teams are positioned at to try to make their own rotation in. The zone continues to pull towards the north side of the map, over towards Eclipse Estates. So if it stays there, this one could get dicey because there's some unbreakable walls, there's a surrounding water, there's even the moon there that we saw Cammy and Seti use early on in this tournament.
Clownski grows on the move right now. Already setting up for a nice position here, looking out for fights, looking out to see if they can find tags. This is going to be a team that, if they don't get active, will surely have something to worry about, but they find more stashed there. Great tags here for Strauss, Grolls, and Clownski, and already now they have a chance to go ahead and alleviate some room near them, get back into this game. But no, Grolls, you saw yourself for a moment. The punishment comes in. It's Pixie off to the right there, who has made it further this game than the last. Meanwhile, Yamzo and Rise potentially taking a fight, but no, they are out. Booga has not been able to secure the health that he lost from getting this far. Wow.
Down goes Booga. Shows exactly what you're talking about. Without that heals, He's not able to get the HP up, what makes him an easy target through the sky. Now he's in focus that they know the knock's there. This is 4 points that the team is going after. And then if they're daring enough to move over, that's loot as well. And you can see Bugha handing over some of his resources while he's down, just trying to pad Threads' material count, making sure that he's able to save him. But look who's knocking on that front door. Trick or treat. In comes Acorn and Cold, and no tricks up their sleeves. All treats as they get those eliminations.
Yeah, they knew they had the knock. They had to finish it right there. They were in the perfect position, and with the zone going south, hey, we got to go this way anyways. It was well timed and executed on their part, and it puts them at 2 eliminations now, very comfortably in the game, and the full refresh to really set yourself up for success. It doesn't get much better than that. Meanwhile, Snazy, Podesai on the move right now. The M8 boys playing deep outside the storm circle here. There had to be something worthwhile, but it looks like it was just a late rotate. A fight in the zone, gone bad.
Yeah, probably that early game strategy. If they're not able to get that surge off of those players that they do get the knocks, that puts them behind on not only timing, but on materials and resource gathering as well. The time is running out. Podesai needs to be able to get in, but he goes down. Snazy found a little crevice that he can hold on to, and even though he is full of shields, he only has 15 HP. If the lobby begins to target him in this direction, where some of them are going to begin to rotate into, that's going to be a very dangerous situation for him to be in.
What's crazy is Mshari had no shield, so talk about a opportunity revealed to him, and he finds shield just off the elimination. Look, he also did not have any heals. It's just a perfect star aligning moment for Mshari and Rue here. One of, again, the few representing for the ME, so making them proud so far.
Still got the top of the leaderboard still alive. Pollo, Sphinx, Miro, Cooper. Rue and Mshari trying to join him on top. 106 and counting, above the damage threshold. But on the other side of things, Vasquez by himself, 140 below.
Moneymaker, man.
Enough to go for that Rift Island very, very early on in game 1. That's helped their position on the leaderboard. And being able to survive here a bit longer will be huge. We saw Duke in his solo points in game 1. Vasquez looking to mimic that here in game 2. But he really does need at least 7 players to go down before he gets a single placement point.
Yeah, and this is definitely going to make him uncomfortable here, as he is really dependent on the heals here. And he's got a long rotate to make no one's move just yet. It's just tough all around. Meanwhile, he gets punished by Tayson and Mustache. So if it wasn't already pretty difficult, now he's surely on the back foot here. He's going to have to use everything he's got. Meanwhile, players around him looking in his direction. They can tell that some damage is happening here. They can hear the sounds. They're wondering, where is this player? Can we find elimination?
It's a big opportunity if somebody wants to go ahead and take that risk. And he needs a handful of players still needed to go down before that Storm Surge does go off. And without any more heals, he's going to have to go for it eventually. The deal is out. Savage still alive. He's one of those players that makes the sneaky plays, trying to make sure that nobody spots him out. More than enough materials, but he has to figure out where he's going to get these heals from. 8 HP, 50 shields, 58 combined. His material count is looking pretty healthy though, but slowly but surely falling down the Storm Surge ladder, having to figure out where he's gonna get it from. He turns around and goes down to Reed.
Yeah, he was wondering, he saw something there, but unfortunately it wasn't anything, and he couldn't get the tags he needed. Reed's gonna go in and jump himself up 4 points there just because of that. And now, placement points just moments away here. 27 duos remaining in the lobby. This is it. Match 2 of the grand finals is now starting to approach its end. Things are gonna have to turn up now. Pollo, Sphinx down on the low ground. If they make another big splash inside the top 5, they will surely start to take away up towards the top. Gripey Flicks here, not trying to make it easy though. They find Sphinx, a great knock there, and Pollo is now by himself. Tags come in too. He's big time punished and finished there. Spoken too soon. Down they go, and now to the bottom they fall.
That is huge. Cooper and Miro already taking first place throughout that game. And honestly, without Queasy and Vino in the lobby any longer, we set our eyes onto Cammy and Seti. They made that daring play in game 1 to go for height. They defended it successfully until Duke had crash landed, taken them all down, and Cammy with them. They're trying to make up for it here yet again today. They're trying to move their way towards the front side of zone. You see the briefcase turret as well over on the other side. Information is important. It's not about the damage itself. And you can see he knows somebody's on the other side of that cover. Just trying to see if there's an opportunity for him to strike 39 above the damage threshold. He's comfortable for now, but he knows that time where he's gonna need to fire a shot is gonna come soon.
And it makes you wonder what went wrong this game for Cammy and Seti. Low on the surge damage, low on the heal options, not many material, right? This is a very tough game, and it's not like the zone went very far from where they land. It's just a little north and to the west here, so something must have went terribly wrong in that outskirt rotate. The resistance there a little too strong. Meanwhile, on hike, it's Striker and his duo. Asha from Team Monaco here. Asha's looking pretty solid right now. I do like the position that they are in as they're trying to play for height here.
Yeah, and who's daring enough to go ahead and contest them? A lot of our heavy hitters are either weak or out of the lobby, so it could be free taking for them. Fortunate enough, there isn't a twin mag. He just had that suppressed Havoc AR. It could deal some fast damage, but it's not as fast as some would think. 148 above the damage threshold, and they have a far rotation to go, just like Thomas and Malabuka. But they are so healthy right now in terms of materials and in terms of resources.
And if you wait their game versus Kanata's, they are doing far and beyond better. They have 4 eliminations. They're actually in the end game, and they have everything they need to succeed. That is what you want after you survive a drop, but let's look at Peterbot. Peterbot forced to play by himself. He's known for what he can do as a solo. He's one of the most capable players on NA, especially when it comes down to fighting. He needs to finish this here. He's already got the knock onto MK Papa, but no, he says, I have to play for myself here. Goes around the outskirts, reading this perfectly, but he is running low on material. There's another elimination. It falls through, so the points will be his. And he's on the hunt. He's like, where is that solo?
Yeah, he's just trying to figure out where he's going to get even more siphon. But it's not so much for the heals as it is the material, because he's running dry. Cammy, Seti, they don't got the high ground yet, but they're going around the outskirts, trying to bypass a lot of teams, recycle some of those builds. And if you look at them, they're going towards the front side of the zone with Thomas down. That leaves the pressure of Malabuka, of the entire duo on his shoulders. But he's another one of those mechanically skilled players that sometimes when you lose your duo, that gives you freedom to go ahead and move around, make moves you wouldn't normally make if your duo was still alive.
Regarded as one of EU's greatest. On high ground though, it's Axforce. On low ground, it's Malabuka. It's Peterbot on the mid. Peterbot still up, looking for the fight. Jumped into a box. He's playing spoiler. Was that Cammy there? He takes out potentially in the exchange in the full finish too. Peterbot has shut down Cammy's dream and hopes of making it far, but Seti is still up. Once again to left to clutch. Malabuka turns things around here, goes for height, even though he's by himself. What is happening right now?
We saw Axforce by himself on height. Malabuka's taking a page out of that playbook, but he instantly drops down low into the mud, trying to go ahead and survive as a solo, and he gets to the front side of zone yet again. Now this is his chance to look back, but a whole different page. Also a solo, but less heals, less material to work with. Peterbot is continuously on the hunt and finds a monster of a shot on Acorn. Even though he's not going to get the spoils of all that he's done, at least there's another heavy hitter out.
But Cold wasn't happy with that. He tries to hunt him down. Peterbot is on a slither of HP. Barely anything. The siphon finally comes through, and now he's in a well-fighting position. Meanwhile, Malabuka still doing it. This is the game of solos right now, and there is just a single duo in here, potentially. It is Cooper and of course Miro there on the front, but Malabuka's got work cut out for him.
3 solos left in the game. One of them is going to be Malabuka, continuously dropping down low. He's letting all those players above him fight it out for him to try to survive, but Cooper and they are ready to end that run. They get into the box, and they send Malabuka back down to the lobby.
Cheating and Pixie at the high ground. It's a 2v2v2 now. Things will start to settle, but our solos have gone incredibly far. Miro, Cooper, try to do it again here, looking to make the redemption run. They got a hurt team in front of them. Off to the side they go. These are points that need to be earned. Cooper is earning his strength, but Miro is here to back him up. He holds it down. The Siphon comes in now. This is it.
ميرو حاله
This is a 2v1
دايما
situation.
بيجيب
Pixie
التايمر.
and Cheatin, they're trying to go ahead and go against him. That's Chari there as well.
Bid.
An all solo end game. Cheatin
Oh.
trying to join
Wow.
Polo Speaks
Wow.
as a
Miro.
team with multiple
Miro
wins
يفوز.
this weekend. Back-to-back
دايما بيجيب
shots.
الثاني،
He's
دايما
already
بيجيب
been
الثاني،
able to
بيجيب
get
الثاني.
one. Miro out for redemption in that last game, but he has no materials. Zone
Yeah,
is taking
bro.
him out until the final shot is in. There it goes. Pixie and Cheatin take the game.
And they do it in spectacular fashion from the high ground, securing the dub, securing the win. What an excellent performance.
Excellent performance indeed.
Game
Let's
two
see
راح
how they're
يلعب.
feeling. Frankie, take it away.
Game two راح
We're
يلهم
seeing
update.
duos come back to prove that their
Game.
victory royales were not a fluke in the past couple of days, and they're doing it again against the toughest competition. How does it feel to get yet another win?
It's feeling really great, bro. We are full stacked again, like yesterday, and we just played it out again.
Do you think that these duos are letting you have it too easy?
Yeah, of course.
It's interesting because you guys were not a duo at the start of
Wow.
the year. You were with different partners. You had to find each other. Why do you think the two of you have come together and managed to dominate this land so far?
We're both really smart, good fighters. That's all we need.
Do you not need brains as well?
Nah, we have enough brains.
You've got
Good
enough
brains.
brains, but really you're all about the firepower. Listen, I want to give
Good.
you the opportunity to talk to your
Okay,
fans
good.
right now. I know that you've got quite a few in the audience as well. Have you got anything you'd like to say to them?
Thanks for everyone supporting me.
And would you like to say that in Polish?
I don't know.
No? Okay. Would you like to say anything?
Thanks for my family who is watching right now and everyone who is supports us.
Well, thank you guys. Congratulations. Let's see if you can keep it up as we head back to the desk.
ليش حكى نو غريب بولش ليه ما بدي احكي نو بولش
Big congratulations there. Cheatin and Pixie finding themselves yet another victory royale. This is now the second time today we've had a duo that already had a victory royale picks up another. But man, this all coming down to solos. That could have gone any which way for a moment there. For a moment, I was like, if this is Mrs. Miro, Cheatin's like, oh, my bad. Whoa, Zeke, don't get ahead of yourself there.
The games have been absolutely insane. I mean, obviously coming down to the one.
Had a duo that already had a victory royale picks up another. But man, this all coming down to solos. That could have gone any which way for a moment there. For a moment, I was like, if this
two names just start popping out of the place and you start going, wait, can they win the game again? In this one,
Had
my
it
eyes
two
were
wins,
sealed to
yeah,
Miro and Cooper. I really thought, okay, last game they couldn't quite do it. They're going to get their redemption now. 1v1 for Miro again. They couldn't quite do it, but you know, I'm sure there'll be more chances to redeem themselves. Pixie and Cheatin, a team that, if you aren't familiar, right, these are very hard-working players. Like Frankie said, they didn't start the year playing with each other, but once they did get together, things have just been clicking for them.
You love to see it. And of course, if you're just tuning in, you've never seen Fortnite, or maybe you just don't know. Victory Royale, of course, even coming down to second place, if you don't get the Victory Royale, it's not that bad, right? A Victory Royale is worth 65 points. Coming second, third, still a massive amount of points as well. But again, congratulations, Pixie and Cheatin. There's so much that happened in just that game. It's like every time we tune in with another duo, they're either in shambles situations or they're pushing the team, they're busting out these crazy strategies. And it's not disappointed so far. Now, Viv, as we bring up these standings, take a look. Cooper and Miro, they're overtaking. They started with a little bit of a lead, and now they have just said, you know what? We're jumping out in front.
I mean, back-to-back second places at the Global Championships. Both of them by Miro, solo clutching to that point in time. And Levin, whilst we were watching that game, right, we were getting close to the end of it. You asked me a question. What was that question?
I said, are Cooper and Miro about to win globals? It's looking like it. They're sitting up on the leaderboard looking comfy, 2 back-to-back second places. I mean, if they keep playing like this, we're going to get to game 4 and it might be a done deal.
The consistency. That's you're going to hear us say that a lot today over the next 4 games. But man, if Miro and Cooper could keep this up, they very well
6
could
games
walk away
today, son.
champions. I did want to take a look more at the
Yep,
standings.
1
though.
out of 6
Let's highlight a
means it's
few
like
more
young,
duos
young,
up on this board.
I'm looking at Vico and Pink there in 3rd place.
Yeah.
I mean, with how their weekend's gone so far, I think a lot of people in
Pink,
here were
oh,
obviously
tough
supporting
action,
Acorn and Cold
Marcus,
after how well Acorn and Cold did in the upper bracket finals. I don't think many people would have expected Vico and Pink to be above them, let alone
كان
sitting
سجل
in the
نزل
top
واحد
3.
طلع 3.
I mean, they have found some comfort on the stage. Cammy and Seti maybe feeling a little bit uncomfortable with a big switch up coming in today. Both games so far, they have been contested, but game number 2 was a little bit different here. They actually decided to go ahead and split their drop spot, but it didn't really end up mattering as they still made it into the end game. And honestly, it was the refresh during 9th zone that kept them alive for so long.
And the thing I was saying during that end game was it felt like vintage Cammy and Seti. None of this high ground nonsense we were seeing from them too much. I say high ground nonsense. They've been very good at it, don't get me wrong. But, you know, it felt good to see them in an element where they were a bit more comfortable. And, of course, again, another instance of Seti getting the job done.
Oh, of course, you know, they had to come into the higher ground meta, right? They had to kind of learn it, so they still have all of those other play styles in their back pocket. Just makes them so good.
And what terrifies me the most, even after this kind of shambles game, they're in top 5. That's not where you want them to be. They're way too close to striking distance. But that's enough for right now. We have Kelly standing by on the stage right now with Flois.
Oh, هذا باتت.
That is right, Zeke. Fortnite veteran and Danish native Flois joining me here right now. I gotta ask, you've been competing in Fortnite for so long. What is it like to be here at the Global Championships in Denmark?
I mean, normally I sit here with the players, but the fans have been absolutely incredible, especially the French ones, and I also hear some Polish ones over here, so big shout out to the fans.
I mean, it's been an incredible weekend so far, from the fans to the players. What has been your favorite moment out of the competition?
I mean, it was first day here, so I mean, the fans is probably the most important thing here, and I also like the game 1 ending with Miro almost clutching.
If I'm not with them, it is what it is.
Clutching up as a solo. Yeah.
Well, then he almost did it again in game number 2. So with that being said, I gotta ask you, who is your favorite to win?
I think right now, I think Miro is gonna win, but I obviously hope for my Danish boys, Thomas HD and Steno and Lucio.
Flois, this just means so much to me to be able to talk with you. I've been watching you play for so long. And what is it like to watch just all 50 duos here competing on this stage?
I mean, it's absolutely insane. Like everyone from the other regions, I normally only play in EU, so to see people like Asia region, Middle East, and also shout out to the one OC duo, Alex and Worthy.
Thank you so much, Flois, and I can't wait to watch the rest of the games with you, but we're gonna be heading back to the desk for now.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Fortnite fans, if y'all are up in here, please go say what's up to Flois. He's absolutely amazing, super wholesome. But, as much as I want to talk more about what happened in game number 2, getting word game number 3 is ready. We're getting closer and closer to the halfway mark, so don't miss out. DJ producer, 2 friends will be here for the halftime show right after this next game. So let's get on into this next one. Casters?
You know what they say, time flies when you're having fun. We're already into game 3 in just a few short moments, and it's been an impressive performance so far by both Cooper and Miro.
I must say, man, if Miro does it again, the strike back, the potential, the explosion that we've seen come out of him so far has been incredible. Let's do it one more time. Game 3. Game 3 of the grand finals is here. It is time to see how this one's gonna play out already. We already know that 14 players have fallen both games back-to-back in these early moments. That means 7 duos have it out for one another.
This is the moments here that kind of make yourself one of the best in the world. This is the last game before that halfway point. You gotta get as high up on the leaderboard as possible. You don't want to leave it to those final moments. But you know what it is from games 1 to 3. Kanata and Agers, Thomas and Malabuka yet again.
Kanata.
You even see shots coming in, but Kanata takes damage. Thomas is already half health, and the fight has barely just begun. Kanata gets the first strike. Thomas goes down. Malabuka by himself. He's on the chase for Agers. Agers doesn't look like he has a weapon. It's all up to Kanata, and he strikes while the iron's hot.
2 for 1, back and forth. Kanata,
Ragers have an opportunity now to potentially run away with it. The problem that they have, though, is how far can they take it when the chance is in front of them?
Uh-oh, I already see Baka that's down. Giannis and Reason. They go for that 50-50 at the top of the tower. Parsi hasn't even been able to launch pad over, and that's not going to be an option. They both got ARs and SMGs to go ahead and take them down if they try to make that a part of their game plan. Now it's all about the hunt. They even get a shield briefcase. This is a very, very daring play. Pars just go ahead and bulldoze his way through. He's trying to make magic happen. Shots on the both face players. Pars almost does it. Takes down Reason, but Giannis saves the day.
So close, and he seals the deal in the final moments. You wouldn't think it would be possible, but he does do it. Here's Chicho, here's Trulex. They have TK nearby. TK had that explosive entrance coming out. Of course, that lower bracket, they managed to turn online, and already they have taken down his teammate. Unfortunate for TK now. He's going to have to figure this one out. Play this one as a solo for now. Meanwhile, Muzz and Paper getting napped here.
Ready to battle it out. They changed up their drop spot. Normally going over towards Breakwater Bay. They qualified to the FNCS Global Championship. They qualified to the Grand Finals over towards Breakwater Bay, but sometimes you got to be adaptable in the bush, trying to go for a hide-and-seek style play. Paper getting taken down low. Muzz there with the bait and switch to try to go ahead and save the day, but they got to be careful. Misha and Tini yet again, all around the map, all around the world. They're ready to take that top spot.
Misha and Tina might be the most flexible duo in this lobby right now, and they are showing how it can be effective even while you try new strategy. But no, Bryce comes in, he's got his attention to put on the matter. Where is Chubbs here? Will he back him up? Misha now has to back out of here. We have spoken too soon. Paper will get the final finish, but Bryce got the knock, so the rewarded points will go to them.
Invitations were sent out to everybody this weekend. You can join the party if you want to. If you want to take that chance, but Paper and Muzz get taken down. They get cleaned up by Bryce and Chubbs, who already have 4 eliminations so far. Impressive way to start game 3.
What a great spot to be in right now for Bryce and Chubbs. Bryce and Chubbs, the lower bracket duo that definitely performed, I would say, above average, finishing up towards that top 3 by the end of the day, putting themselves in the conversation. Upper bracket day, they were contested. They had a bit of a difficult time up in the north side, but right now could be their chance to turn things around. 4 eliminations, what a way to start the game.
And you know, our first 2 games were decided by teams who already have a victory royale throughout the weekend. Bryce and Chubbs have one as well, so that trend could continue. As TK goes down to Chicho, he gets cleaned up, probably trying to go for Quanti's reboot card. So they're going to be out of this game early on. But Cooper and Miro, I like this. They go ahead and get it uncontested. They loot up. They kind of switch to figure out who's going to go for the early surge, who's going to go down into that vault and try to clean up all that loot.
Jumping over to Batman Booger, Rapid. We've seen so far having to play solo a fair amount, losing Batman Booga a little earlier than he would have liked the last round or so. But this drop spot, man, Mega City, obviously highly contested, plenty of action to unfold here. And then if you just peer off to the outside, you have teams like Acorn and Cold constantly hovering around, so you never really are safe inside this big city.
Canada.
We jump over with Canada. David says Canada, already starting to look up and over. Getting a little dangerous here.
And you can see his streak. He's the only player in the world to go for 20 for 20, reaching a grand finals. He won his first one in the FNCS Major 3. He's looking to go back-to-back in some ways and take this global championship by storm, but this game needs to count.
All right, let's just say that one more time. Kanata is the only person in the world to have made every single FNCS Grand Finals and also perform extremely well. His top 10 performances, by the way, you can hold a candle to it. It'll stand strong, but Kylie is going to fall here to Fastroki. To the hands of Datus and Stain. So from the Frenzy Farms, they come south and they influence Kylie and Fastroki with the quick finish.
That's huge. This team has been slowly but surely upping up their firepower game after game throughout the weekend. It's only a matter of time before they hit their final form. But Reet and Ritual, they've been out of this world so far, consistently performing at the top level. not only online, though, they brought that skill here to the big stage. And see if they can keep it up, but they're close by, neck and neck with both Edgy and Duke. I think a lot of these teams know the risk of taking an early game fight. And so Edgy and Duke just continue on with their rotation. They're trying to not take too many risks early on. We'll save those for the late game.
Now we tune in one of the most seasoned here.
One more time.
Tayson setting up what could be a potential ambush alongside Merstash. They have the side angles, they have the information. A 3-2-1 is all it takes, and Kaizen is caught out. And that is what a professional duo would do to you. A moment is all it takes. If it were me, if it were you, it'd take forever to line up those shots, but they make it look so easy, so quick, so deadly.
It was more than just a two-player 3-2-1. Threats and Bugha on the other side, who actually were the ones able to steal that one away. If I thought 2 players were hard to survive, 4 players is literally impossible. I feel bad for Kaizen, but luckily for him, his teammate is still left alive. You see him floating around in the mini-map, ready to kind of make an attempt at that reboot card. Fighting alone is not something anybody wants to do, even if they're separated like this. Cammy and Seti going for that forecast tower, which is a huge part of their game plan.
But not only that, they just took down MK Papa.
Ooh.
So Shalom is by himself up in this box right here. Cammy making a move for it, potentially thinking he can go in to seal this. No, they're just gonna move along here. In the meanwhile, we should look at how this happened. Take a look. Scoped weapons in hand. MK Papa slides across. Oh, they were trying to get that forecast tower themselves, but no, caught out in the open. They get burned.
It's just one of those things, man. You don't necessarily plan for another team to just be hiding in bushes all around, but I feel like that's one of the most simple strategies you'd see some of these teams do, but it's honestly the small things that you tend to forget on the biggest stage. We talk about rotations. Queasy and Vino moving on over toward the west before they're going north towards Frenzy Fields to try to find their spot in towards the zone. They're easily one of the teams that can pick up multiple VRs throughout the day and kind of make up for lost time, boost up that leaderboard. But Vaniac and Karmi are going against their EU counterparts. I drop a Mappy on the other side. Getting denied piece control a few times. A quick peek view opportunity coming out from iDrop. He gets denied yet again. All of that real estate going over to Vaniac.
Feel a little deja vu here. Kanye down to the low ground. Vaniac cannot quite find the shot there. iDrop playing off the heels, backing up by himself. The last time we were in this situation, it was Sensei and company on the hunt. This time it is Karmi. Will they close it a little faster? I wonder. They are drawing the attention of teams nearby. Should wrap this up quickly. Back he goes. Not many other options for him left here now.
That's, I feel like, what iDrop best case scenario. Let another team come in this direction. Start to fight off both Vaniac and Karmi. That way he can try to slither his way out, but no opportunities are coming. A big shot fires through, running out of resources. iDrop has to think outside of the box and get out of it as well. Multiple angles as Karmi finally goes in and finishes the job. Letting nothing go through. It's a huge way for them to kind of start their own game.
Tayson and Merstash. The quick elimination there onto Waves Vidil. Unfortunately, Mr. Savage now has to back out of this drop here. Mr. Savage and Vidil have been staying late into Slappy Shores, but I don't think they expected Merstash and Tayson to still be here playing their drop. Let's take a look at that one more time. Merstash swings around the top. They're already hurt. Into the box he goes. Vidil wasn't quick enough to defend himself there, and it was a very clean pickup. Meanwhile, Pink and Vico move right past Karmi there. Vaniac. Pink and Vico inside the top 5. Chilling around 4th place at the moment. What a different story compared to the upper bracket. Also taking their learnings out of the lower bracket into today.
Yep, that's one thing I feel like for some of these players, you know, Vico probably one of the more mechanically skilled and gifted players on the EU region. Pink, one of the best IGLs. Sometimes it just takes a day to warm up. You know, you got the jitters, you got the nerves, different setup, different desk heights, different chairs. And sometimes you have to go through the ringer against a team like Acorn and Cold before you go ahead and say enough is enough. You start to go ahead and play to your full potential. And that's why you see him at the top side of the leaderboards. Snazy and Podeside, they're kind of making a very, very similar rotation that they have in Games Pass, going on over towards the Creaky compound. just boxing up. They're, I wouldn't say slap dab in the center of zone, but they're as close as they can be at the current moment. Using a lot of those berries and just trying to see who rotates nearby. They just don't have a good line of sight over the lobby as of now. So that's why you see them rotating to try to get a better position, because information is critical in lobbies like this.
So many trees as well really hides how much danger is lurking nearby. Take a look at all the duos as we pan out here, including Cooper and Miro just nearby. Meanwhile, to the south, Cammy and Seti, of course, wrapping things up at the Frenzy Fields. Still danger nearby, though, so you always have to be careful. With that, let's get a word from Mini.
Thank you so much, Monster. Now, let's take a little look at Cammy and Seti's off-spawn situation. We know it's a little bit dicey for them at the moment, but in this particular game, they have managed to take control of that main Frenzy building. Of course, that gives them access to the north side of the map. And of course, what is there lurking at the north side of the map? It's the Forecast Tower. If you don't know, that gives them access to know when the next zone is going to be and where it is going to be positioned. So, of course, that's absolutely vital information for them. We can see them taking out another player here as well, and thankfully for them, they actually get access to this Forecast Tower. Hopefully for them, it'll be a good game like game number 1.
Thank you so much for the pivotal information, Mini. My zero build carry, I should say, when me, Vivid, and Zeke all squad up. And it's just very, very sure that we keep our eyes on both Cammy and Seti. They're one of 3 teams in this lobby that will have the awareness of where that zone's going to go thanks to that Forecast Tower. And if you're one of those teams that may have seen them, may know that it's a chance for Cammy and Seti, you might want to try to follow them around without getting targeted. But Rift Island, you know how competitive this has been. And now Mshari and Rue are going to be one of the first teams going up to it. And that's been the trend throughout the first games. If you make it to the island first, you more than likely capture it and get those 15 points.
You really have to. See, way to turn the game around for you right here. And honestly, Mshari and Rue kind of needed this. They've been struggling here. They've had a couple moments, so this will surely put them right back up toward that top 15 bracket now. Potentially even edging their way to top 10, as this island is worth 15 points. If you can secure it in time. We jump on over to Duke, though, for a moment here. Edgy is hurt and hasn't quite recovered just yet. I wonder what's happening, as he's getting pushed by Chubbs and Bryce. A little too much happening down low. Duke comes to the rescue, though. Great tags there, and finally Edgy gets his heels off, puts him right back into the game. He was waiting for those mushrooms to pop back in there.
This is what they do best. They're just slithering by for now. You know they can fight in the biggest moments of them all, but it's about using your brain, using your smarts, using a lot of the strategies that even got you to this point, and then very many more tricks up your sleeve to keep that train rolling. Ari and Giris, 531 damage above the threshold. You see them currently positioned in 12th place on the leaderboard. And this being the last game before the half, I feel like it's pivotal for a team where they're positioned, if they want to be in the conversation and not force themselves to have massive games, to do well here in this third game.
Looking at that top 10. Now into the top 15. Look at how close it is. Points barely separating one another. Mr. Savage finds himself in a little fight. Some action here. Fnajian with an incredible shot. How do you hit that before he even can realize? And now Vidil has to clutch up here. Vidil cannot allow him to wait this one out. And by the way, they need this damage. They actually have to force these fights here. So should he save up, should he clutch up here, it'll be okay. You know, Fnajian wants to turn things around and get the full finish. So Vidil does have to be careful.
Third-party shots coming.
Oh, he saves him just in time.
Outside of the zone and inside as well. The breacher for Fnajian is going to be the huge money maker here, but a nice shot from Vidil, trying to make up for him going down early. He burns! Fnajian says, you are out of the lobby.
Oh my gosh. That was the grossest shot of the day by far. Watch it one more time. Look at how quick this was. You think it was over here, but he hits it just in time. Oh my God.
Pop the slurp juice. He didn't even give him enough time to heal. He just went in trying to finish it off. But those are the risks you take when you get rebooted. You're forced to get surged yet again. That's exactly what happens when you can't control your own destiny. But an actual contested fight for this Rift Island. It's the game before the half, like I keep saying, so a lot of these teams realize how valuable these points actually are. But these teams, if they don't have enough heals, you can only stay up here for so long. You see the zone is pulling away from Rift Island, so it might be one of those teams that have the heals down that are willing to expend it.
It makes sense that Vask and Hen are here, as this is a part of their strategy. Secure these drops, secure the Rift Island, get these other points, these extra points. It's a lot of different ways to secure the lead. Datus and Stain are also here again too, constantly finding themselves in the vicinity. So far, so good. Gripey and Flixie are alive. Kanata and Agers are just nearby as well, so trying to make do, trying to make the best of this game.
57 above the damage threshold. It's just enough. It's just enough for some of these teams to rotate in, trying to go for a sneaky sniper shot. Narrowly misses that one. Probably saw the glint coming off of it as soon as he scoped in, allowing him to kind of watch out. You see, they don't want to go all the way to the side of that mountain. They want to keep some elevation just in case it does pull in this direction. You don't want to have to battle back.
Source may have found an important elimination onto Seti, so you may know where the zone is, but it doesn't mean you're absolutely safe. Cammy turns that story around, potentially finding his elimination, putting up just enough defense, but for how long? Now Cammy has to play this out by himself.
Yeah, I don't know how possible it is going to be, but if he does have that reboot card and he holds his position, he's not too far off from that reboot van as well, but it is going to be out of zone. It is going to cause a lot of attention in your direction, but the possibilities are endless. We've seen things like that happen before in the past. He's just trying to figure out how he's going to survive this moment. Forget about those later plans, but for now, I think it's going to be go for that rocket ramp. Forget the reboot, forget all the loot, and even that team I was fighting. Let's just go ahead and go in towards zone, and you can see it's the least congested side as of now. Nobody's really begun their rotate from across the water.
What's crazy about this as well is Cammy was considering taking more mobility in crash pads, but because he was spooked out of his spot, he actually couldn't even secure it. He couldn't change his loot up. He had to just leave. So this isn't even the most ideal situation for him as of right now, as he was fumbling through his builds. But Cooper, Miro, the problem children of NA right here, setting up shop. Forget that. The problem children of the Globals right now. They are second and second back-to-back. This is by far the toughest game for them, as they don't have much of a material count to play with, and they've been found out.
This is big, because if Miro and Cooper end up with the top finish yet again, they're 39 points ahead of the next best player in team right now. Placement points have not even begun to set in, so if they can continue that trend, they will be the team to beat in the second half.
This is kind of crazy though. Take a look at how this situation is playing out. There's not a soul on this side of the map. Very rarely this late in the game will you even have a chance to farm loot so casually in a competitive lobby. And things might have just aligned for Cooper and Miro. We could be seeing Destiny line up.
If they somehow win this game, get a top 5, you have to rewind the tape and think of that moment right there. That chance to breathe and stabilize, refarm up, just like you're saying. It is going to be huge, but there's even teams rotating nearby in their direction. But from outside of the zone to the inside of the zone, Pink and Vico, they're waiting for them to go down, because they're one of the teams that is at the top side of that leaderboard as of now, waiting to take away that spot. And honestly, consistency is key, and they've been one of the most powerhouse teams on the weekend, if you're minus day one, of course.
Well, if you look at that top 10, there was definitely room at the top, as 4 teams have fallen just beyond 5th. Peterbot has a chance. Bila has a chance. They're just right there. This game already 2 eliminations, put them inside the top 10. That solo run from Peterbot in game number 2 was incredible.
This is exactly what we came to see and came to know out of Peterbot overall. The Invitational played with somebody who isn't Bila, and I feel like that's the thing. It's business for them. Every time they go and try to do it with someone else, the results aren't necessarily there, but every time they reunite, they impress everybody watching, and they're looking to do that once more here.
It's not a better way to make $1 million over a weekend.
True.
To be the best. That's gonna be something to celebrate, but no celebrations here for Miro and Cooper. Not looking good right now. Just a couple builds here. They're gonna have to force the agenda, force the fight. They find one on the other side. This might be the best team to do it as well. We already knew Geras was hurt. Cooper jumps into the box. He goes for it, puts it all on the line, doesn't quite find it, and Miro's here to back him up, and the finish comes in. The refresh was massive, and they're right back in the game. But do they have heals? Did Cooper find anything there?
It's the little details that matter, because now that he has materials on the side of Miro, of course.
Another one.
And able to heal on up. Oh, there goes his teammate as well. Geras goes down.
Wow.
And now they're both looted and booted, ready to go ahead and continue their run. Their point lead is just growing larger and larger through most of the game. See Pixie and Cheating up on that leaderboard as well. Cammy and Seti still finding a way to stay alive. Then, of course, Pink and Vico.
Well, after the material split, there's still going to be a fight in front of them. They're not stopping there. They are literally continuing, but on the other side, Cammy is still a solo. He is still playing this one out, where once he was going high ground game after game, this round here, he just has to do what he can to survive the gauntlet. Top 25 is here now. Placement points have been earned. That alone is something to celebrate, but Cammy's here to put up more. He needs more.
Rocket Ram able to get himself from one side to the next. And since he's so far below the damage threshold when it comes to Storm Surge, he immediately goes to work, looking towards the backside of zone. Mixon's going to be the first one in his line of sights, but finds no success, able to shoot through. Pink goes down in the feed. That's Miro yet again, out of nowhere, trying to come back. But Cammy's not really finding any success when it comes to Storm Surge. Eventually, he's going to have to just get into one of these boxes.
This is really starting to heat up here. We get to look at that one more time. Don't forget, the reason they were hurt was because Pink was looking at him from before, and they finished him just like that. And another refresh. But more importantly, it's more points, and that's a top 5 team. Pink and Vico have been truly heating up here today. But Miro and Cooper are just the unstoppable force at the moment in this lobby.
Now they've made it to the point of the game where you're getting placement points for every team that goes down. And this is where Cooper and Miro really do shine the best. In these end games, being able to be a little bit more aggressive and take those risks. Peterbot and Bylight to say the same thing about them. They were in the situation that Cooper and Miro were in not too long ago. They have to take a page out of their playbook, but that's Kanata and Agers over on the other side. See Peterbot trying to take the space, but finally moves back, reunites. He hears a lot of teams crashing in. He doesn't want any part of any of that.
Violent Peterbot still on the move right now. Meanwhile, Peterbot is finding more and more. He gets the finish, but there's duos down low. It's not safe by any means. Sarkaruk thin on material. Plenty of teams down low. He's got to get out. That's Duke. He takes down, so fragmenting a team there while Iamzo finds Edgy. High ground, unsure. Cooper by himself now as Miro's fallen to the hands of Vico. And they are on a run right now. The point lead is insane. And as teams fall, they are doing more and more. A team falls right in front of Cooper. Cooper's got to be careful. That was a close one.
That was a close call, but Miro just trying to go for the mats. He needs those resources. Wasn't able to really grab much. Queasy's still alive as well. Talked about a big game needed to keep them within contention so they don't leave it up to the last moments. Quickly redeploys on over to the other side and goes for the shot, but narrowly misses his opponent. He's able to escape, and we're quickly into the top 15.
Chubbs and Bryce are online right now. 7 eliminations and almost a top 10. Chubbs and Bryce may be one of the most impressive duos to pop out of NA right now. And they have the experience, but this is the first time they're in an in-person arena with a crowd this big. With this much on the line, and so is Cooper. And he's still going. This could be the miracle run for Cooper.
Already you've seen the point spread. It's only them and Pixie and Cheating at the top of that leaderboard. And 40+ points already separating them thanks to that elimination they've been picking up. But they're on the high ground. They could be the first team to try to get 3 VRs on the day. They already have 5 eliminations, more mats than they know what to do. Another elimination almost grabbed up by Cooper. And this is a chance for both Pixie and Cheating to try to pick up the points. A 2v1 situation. They got their 7 eliminations, and it's Karmi who's already outside of the zone, and he doesn't even survive a chance to fight the 1v2. Pixie and Cheating take their 3rd victory royale of the weekend.
Is that a back-to-back for Pixie and Cheating? Yeah. Are they just on fire right now?
I want to repeat what our casters just said. Are you on fire right now?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're a man of few words, but you do have some Swedish words for the audience right now. Would you like to say anything to everyone who's supporting you?
Tack för alla som supportar mig.
There we go, nice and simple. Thank you, everyone who said in Swedish. So tell me about that end game then.
Yeah, full stacked again and just play it out. Like, we had so many mats and stuff, and we just full tapped to the end game. We looked at high, and then we looked up, and it was free, and we take it.
So do you think the key to your fantastic end games is actually you're having great early starts as well?
Yes, we get like good search, good mats. They just get into end game.
And what's the secret to this? Have you spent a long time preparing your game plan, or is this just in the moment when you sit down, you just know what you want to do?
We have prepared a lot of strats, and then we just play from there.
And who is responsible for those game-winning strats?
We both. We just both looking for strats together, and then just yeah, looking for our game plan, and yeah, and then we just play our end game game plan in the finals.
Well, the target on your backs, boys, is growing ever larger, but hopefully you can hold off the competition. I'm going to let you go and get ready for game number 4, but right now, everyone, Pixie and cheating!
Bro, no shot. No shot. There's 2 stories we're going to highlight. We'll start with the easy one. Pixie and Cheen, the back-to-back. Guys, understand, this is a global stage. This is it. This is the peak level of competition. And Pixie and Cheen say, Victorial? Nah, let's give you 2.
Pixie and Cheatin have to be on top of the road. And look at this. It's all about the back side of the moving zones. They find out where the high ground is weakest. They go ahead and spray it out, and then they build up. And how they have so many materials going into this endgame. Look at their eliminations before they just start to farm them from the high ground, right? They are just finding refreshes as they go along. And to end the game with 8 eliminations and a back-to-back win, Levin, like, what?
Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable stuff. They literally came through and said the win was so nice, we had to do it twice. I can't believe what I'm saying. Like, you're getting to that endgame, and I keep seeing Cheating and Pixie's names in the field. I'm thinking, wait, these guys are still up. And we're seeing all these titans in the lobby falling, just can't able to keep up. But these guys look so strong all the way until the end. I mean, even with that being said, Zeke, they still won in first place.
That is the second storyline. Cooper and Miro, these guys are gods. I don't even know what I'm watching. Obviously, Pixie and Cheatin are kind of like, right now they have the spotlight on them, which gives Cooper and Miro the opportunity to say, okay, spotlight's off us. Let's operate in the shadows. Let's make some plays. Dude, but the solo clutch as well.
Zeke, before the solo clutch, though, we had an incredible clutch as they do. I mean, they were on the west side of the zone. They were trying to farm mats. They had 0 builds. And me and Levin, we were like, yeah, I don't think it's going to be a good game from them, right? They're going to fall out of first place. And then somehow they just find a double refresh. And then they take out the team that was following them in that second place pick. Like, the refreshes just kept flying in.
I mean, when your back is against the wall, to do what these guys are doing, forcing their way into the box and forcing the elims, I mean, it's craziness. And then Cooper at the end there, really a man just possessed right now. The shots onto Rapid and just surviving, outlasting all of these opponents. It was ridiculous.
Miro went down 25th, right? There was 25 teams alive when Miro went down. Cooper just went down in top 5. He's solo clutch for that long.
Which is kind of crazy to me, because a lot of times when we talk about this duel, we tend to focus a little more on Miro's side, right? Kind of a little more decorated, a little more experienced. But Cooper's like, whoa, why am I getting disrespected right now?
I mean, unbelievable player, right? He was given the chance by Miro to compete, and he has not looked back since. Every opportunity he's taken.
Flip the coin. If anybody has seen that on the timeline, basically how this duo ended up forming, Miro was like, hey, Cooper, flip a coin, and if it's what you guess, whatever it was, I think it was heads, we'll duo. And it ended up being correct, so they formed a duo, and now here they are on the global stage in first place after 3 games.
Best coin flip of his life.
Just insane. Okay, so really quickly, I want to talk about more of the standings overall. I did kind of just want to double back to Cooper Miro there. I'm sorry, Cheatin and Pixie rather in second place. So they've not been able to overtake Cooper and Miro. Yeah. And they're kind of, you know, gentlemen of very few words. I was kind of curious if you guys had insight as to how they are just going wild right now. How are they making this happen?
I mean, for me, it looks like it's the high ground play, right? Like somehow, you know, we talked about it coming into the day. We expected a couple of teams to be battling out up there, specifically Queasy and Venom and Cammy and Seti. But honestly, we haven't really seen either of those duos in a healthy enough position to go ahead and contend for it. So it's kind of left that area of the end game open arms for Pixie and Cheatin.
Yeah, and I think you can see from the interviews, they're not really letting the moment get to them. It's like they're playing at home, chilling, playing some scrims or something, right? It seems to be very low pressure right now. And for a team who isn't as experienced in these kind of moments, that's very alarming almost, right? You don't expect to see that. You expect the players to be shaking and wobbling over their words like, oh my goodness, we're on the stage and we're winning games. What's going on? No, these guys are cool, calm, and collected.
Absolutely. You talk about another duo that's cool, calm, collected. Vico in pink in third place right now, halfway through the competition. Guess what? Frankie, she's standing by with Vico right now. So let's hear from him.
I am. And Vico, I think this is the least nervous I've ever seen you. Why are you so calm right now?
Well, it's 3 games in, and, well, there's nothing to really win right now, so nothing to lose. So it's just like there's nothing really that we need to like have pressure about, because no one really thinks that we're going to win or anything. So
I think you've got a good chance. You're in third place at the moment. And right now, the drop spot feels quite safe for you because Cold and Acorn, they're not trying to grief you. They're not trying to 50-50. They're actually just giving you space.
Yeah, they're just giving us space. Like, we're giving them space, they're giving us space, because there's not really a reason why we would fight, because it's just going to get delayed. And if we both play our end games, like me and Acorn, and like we're just both going to do good.
Who do you think has the stronger end game out of the 2 duos?
Probably me and Pink.
And why is that?
Because we practice a lot. Like in these last 3 months that we have played together, we've practiced like almost every day, or like almost every second day. So we have a lot of prac in between us. So
I just saw your coach Bloodex walking past as well. He told me I haven't had to teach this guy anything, but there must be a reason you're working with him. So what's he brought to your duo?
Basically everything. Like he's teaching me how to actually understand the game and actually play the game. Like there's a lot of stuff that I didn't know before having coaching from Bloodex. So
what has he really taught you about playing the game then? What does it mean to play Fortnite?
Well, there's like stuff like you need to understand like how to play mid games actually, and like look for surge and all that stuff. And that's like something that Bloodex is really good at. And yeah.
It's one of the things that's ever changing about Fortnite. Given that you are in this third spot, you can go either way now. You can go up, obviously you can go down, and you can go all the way to that trophy. What are you feeling right now in terms of your chances? Do you already see yourself lifting that trophy on that stage?
Well, I don't see myself lifting it right now because there's a huge point difference between first and third place. But these next 2 games, they just show everything. Like Mero and Cooper can choke, as well as like second place. I think second place is Pixie and Cheatin. They can also choke. It all depends on these next 3 games because a lot of people will get nervous.
Exactly, and yesterday you did get a victory royale where you scored, I believe, over 100 points. So it might be 100 points separating you from the top. But I know that you can pull off a big game. So Vico, thank you so much for talking to me. Good luck to you and Pink, and let's head back to the desk.
Can I just say, I don't know where he is in here, but Bloodex is the biggest liar there is. For him to say, I've not had to teach Vico anything, I've been there. He's had to teach Vico a lot, like Vico just said. And my, oh my, we're grateful he has, right? Because look how Vico's playing, look how he's improved. It hasn't always been the smoothest. It hasn't always been the easiest of rides for that duo to get to where they are now. But it's the perfect time for them to be peaking.
Absolutely. I mean, and I think too, him being able to kind of take that step back and humbly say, look, I still need to get sharpened, right? I still need to focus myself. That's how you improve. If you're just assuming I'm at the top, I can't do anything, I'm the very best, you'll never actually improve. Now, we kind of talk about the standings, a couple in the top 3. Let's talk about the duo in 4th, Seti and Cammy. Again, I'm just terrified, man. I feel like this happens all the time. Cammy and Seti, though, they might have this like, they haven't quite made it up in the standing. They haven't got a victory on, not even a top 5, whatever. And then they end in first place, right? From this position. And we're only halfway through. In 3 games, they can make it happen.
So far, for me, Cammy and Seti's performance has been about hanging on, right? Giving them actually a chance to go ahead and hoist the trophy at the end of the day. Because so far, as I was talking to Levin about while we were watching that game, we really haven't seen a good game from them yet, a solid one. Usually this duo is very, very tight-knit in the sense that they are both alive late into these end games, but we have just seen solo clutch performances, which, by the way, is very, very rare for this duo, to just hold on to that 4th place, which is why that 4th place, to me, is so impressive.
Yeah, no, I want to really emphasize that, because you're spot on there. They have not had a good game by Cammy and Seti standards. Like, the best is still yet to come from these guys, and the fact that they're in 4th, and you could argue their performance hasn't been anything amazing by their standards, just says everything you need to know about this duo.
You know, and we're talking about it a lot, right? Obviously, of course, right now we are on a break, so there is some time to maybe sit back and actually talk with each other, kind of figure out what's going wrong. So maybe this is the reset that they need.
I think so, right? I think all throughout the year when they face hurdles, even at times when it maybe looked like maybe this duo would split up and things weren't going to work out for them and it was going to be the end of Cammy and Seti, they've been able to work things out. They've been able to get together, get on the same page, and it's paid off every single time.
Absolutely. We saw 3 games, right? Anything can happen. They just need one insane game, and they could suddenly overtake that #1 spot. There's a point differential, but we can't focus on that, right? We have to focus on the job we have to do. As we turn our attention back over to the standings, let's just take a look here as well. I'd love to highlight Karmi and Vanyak. They're in 5th place, up 22 places. Again, it takes one good game, and then suddenly we just shift the entire leaderboard.
You know what's impressive to me is that I'm looking at the objectives, right? None of the teams right now in the top 10 seem to have secured Rift Island a single time. So I kind of wonder what's going on with that. Maybe it's actually kind of hurting some of these teams for whatever reason. But I mean, listen, that lead by Cooper and Mira. You know what's very, very interesting about Mira? Of course, he does have 5 FNCS titles under his belt. Did you know that in 4 of those titles, he didn't actually win a game? So those back-to-back second places are just very much so his style.
So basically you're saying, you got to just wrap it up now. It's over. Like, if he's winning games now it's just over. We might as well just pack it up, we'll go home.
There we go. I'm going to stay. I want to stay. I want to see this halftime show coming up shortly from DJ Producer, 2 Friends. We'll get there momentarily. But yeah, I mean, with halfway through, now it is more important and more critical than ever. We can't be slipping, right? We have to keep moving forward. We have to kind of shore up these mistakes as quickly as possible because there's a championship trophy waiting.
You know, why don't we reference some of the other in-person events that we have had, right? We had Invitational. Now, of course, that was 12 games, so a little bit different. But we checked out the day 1, right? After 6 games, which, of course, was that halfway point. And since we're at that point now, I think it would be very, very relevant to talk about it. Whoever was at the top of the leaderboard, it still switched up very much so after we played out the second half of the competition. So I really do feel like there's still so much that could happen.
Yeah, and look, again, as much as a lot of these players very much need the break, they need some time to cool down and relax. It could be a bit of a heat check for Mira and Cooper, right? They might come back, sit down, and they're not really feeling as hot as they once were, right? So hopefully it doesn't mess up their momentum and their flow.
You talk about momentum, we got to slow things down. We are halfway through the competition, and what I want to see is a halftime show. Who better to prepare us than Monster D-Face?
Well, listen up, Fortnite fam. I don't want to completely slow things down. I just want to change things up. We've had a lot of gameplay, but now we're going to introduce some music here for the halftime show. Coming all the way in from California, we have something very special in store for you here, Copenhagen. DJ, producer, musician extraordinaire, 2 Friends has something never before heard or seen in store for you all here. That's right, it's a very special Fortnite show, one that's gonna be fun and exciting. So if you're down on the floor, get ready to stand up, enjoy yourself. If you're up here inside the stands, I mean, enjoy it. And if you're at home, don't forget, turn the music up. Here we have it though. We're gonna jump down to the floor. Things are already dimming out, and then we get to see what's in store for us.
موسيقى. واو. اوكي. ايش هاد لايف ايفنت؟ FNCS. 2 Friends. 2 Friends. 2 Friends. شو هالحال؟ لا بعدين أغنية طيب.
Fortnite, how we feeling, baby? We're two friends so stuck to with y'all tonight. Y'all ready to do a big with us? Make some noise! I need all y'all right here. Put the hands in the sky. Put them up, put them up, put them up.
What?
Show me what we got. Come on. Fortnite, let's keep it going strong right here. Follow us on this one.
Got a lot of love, little bit less money, 22 more on me. Besides you, met a couple friends, but I never really see them, cause I don't really feel them. They don't look like you. You've been on my mind, 9 to 5 and then 5 to 9, yeah. Up the whole night, dreaming when I'm near your body. I can't shut my eyes with you in my bed, even when I'm tired. PM be turning to AM and I couldn't rest if you
do it like this.
Do you think Epic will have to take an announcement on Epic on Watch Live? Brains for $3.91.
Y'all ready to go a little bit harder right now?
We are the halfway through the 20 years of current leaderboard.
Fortnite, show me what we got.
You can book award breakfast in the history for hours. Non-music. Game time hoping for an announcement. No scope trick shot, I put no way.
Cammy just 360 no-scope someone in a $4 million.
Wow.
I have the copyright. Oh my God.
Fortnite, let me see all y'all losing right now. Run it back, baby! Put them hands in the sky! Put them up! Put them up!
Little chapter of
Fortnite makes some noise for Casey on the saxophone!
It's been a long time since I've seen your face. We both got older, still we haven't changed. I still remember the promises we made. I'd always love you even miles away. Oh, we never found the perfect time or place. That doesn't mean we won't find it some way. You in my sweater in the pouring rain. I think I love you more than yesterday. Do it like this. Hold your breath, darling, swim to shore. I'll trade the water in that heart of yours. And when it storms, we'll sail right through the waves. I love you more than yesterday.
Let me see all y'all got.
I love you more than
1, 2, 3. Fortnite, I need every single one of you to lose your voices with us.
Coming out of my cage and I've been doing just fine. Gotta be down because I want it all. It started out with a kiss, how did it end up like this? It was only a kiss, it was only a kiss. Now I'm falling asleep and she's calling a cab while he's having it and she's taking it. Now they're going to bed and my stomach is sick and it's all in my head. But she's touching his. So now he takes off her. Now let me go.
يلا ما تحي خلص يلا
Let me hear it.
اوه ما علاه صحيح اقفل البث اليوتيوب جالس يحدث القنوات اللي نزل بثوث مصرية اعطوني باند ليش اعطوك باند من الأغنية امبارح بثيت هذا ما اعطوني شو وات اعطوك باند من الأغنية مش فاهم باند ايش طيب احكي يا باند ايش بشان ربك تحكي يلا عم تهوفني اعطوك باند يعني للقناة تاعتك مش عارف مش رح نحضر الموسيقى نستنى لما تخلص نلعب شوي لما تخلص أغنية والله خوفني وراح طيب يلا شو هاد خلصوني ننام The black hole tree was I need black hole tree طيب chapter 1 يلا ما خلص الساعة لسه إله إلا الله. يلا باقي بالنهائي. لا خلينا نلعب. شو الزهقان. لا يتمشى نزل سكي. لا كذا يلين ريبو. خلينا نلعب ما يخلصوا الأغاني. باتريا 500,000 بيلعبوا هاللو. سولو رانك. لا مش سولو رانك. هلا حيبلشوا انهم نلعب 1v1. لا مش ريستكس. خلينا نتأكد إذا بلشوا. لسه بس أتوقع قريبين. خلينا نخليها هيك. قرب يبلش بلكي. بلكي يعني بتشاطر والعناصر. يلا متحمس. خليه يعمل اناونسر لشابتر 2 لشابتر 1. نرجع هلا تخلص البطولة. انهم بالانفنتيشنال السنة الماضية حكوا اناونسمنت للشابتر 5 شابتر 4. حكوا شابتر 4 is coming بالشو اسمه انفنتيشن. يلا بس راوند 1 نرجع. Oh my god. اوكي بلشوها لسه. لا اله الا الله. شاف هسافر. اوكي
Come build fight. No. يا اخي مو تخرجت شات. والله ما تخرجت شات. والله ما تقلش مزبطش يا اخي. بلشوا اخيرا. طيب يلا خلينا نهدى. سكر افتح اخيرا.
Now our players are going to throw everything at these last 3 games. Do you like the segue?
That was good. That was really good.
Thanks so much. Been working on it.
3 games left, and there's obviously a few duos that we have to talk about that are on the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, there are. Do you think that anyone is going to overtake Cooper and Miro? Because they are 100 points clear and they're so consistent in getting to those end games.
I mean, not only do they have the highest amount of eliminations right now, but they also have the highest average placement. But you can't ignore Pixie and Cheatin', who, for the first time since the FNCS World Cup, where we had Aqua and Nyrox get back-to-back VRs. They are the first duo to do it again. So it has been years since we've seen that. That is an incredible accomplishment. So there's definitely a chance for that duo there.
Well, I can't wait to see what the desk has to say, but I also hope that Zeke is going to show you guys some of his moves.
No. Listen, Frankie, you're not gonna bait me into that, okay? Look, those moves are way too powerful, okay? But man, that was a crazy set by a DJ producer, Two Friends. And I gotta agree with Frankie, when Casey on the sax came out, I was just not ready. Like, I was like, yeah, this is amazing. And that just dropped, and I'm just jumping like crazy. That was so much fun.
It's so fun being in here, right? Because we're standing up here on the desk, and the whole ground is like shaking as this is going on as well. And then the flames start going off, and it's like, whoa. Why can we actually feel the heat from those waves?
I want to keep the party going, bro. I don't want to stop. Let's just keep it going. Tell them to come.
متى نبلش يلا معك 5 دقايق.
Just let it run wild. And of course, I don't know if y'all saw, they had the wristband. So as they're changing the songs as well, it's just the arena lighting up kind of in like tandem with the songs. Man, that was amazing. Thank you so much. DJ producer, Two Friends, we appreciate y'all. Casey on the sax, we became best friends.
The GOAT.
The GOAT. Now, as we kind of get ready here, we have some time before we jump back into the game. The players have kind of taken a bit. They're stepping back, they're getting some food, talking with whoever they need to talk to, and focusing their minds. Let's take a look at the stats by the numbers. Let's take a look at how things are kind of going here in the grand finals. When we take a look at the numbers for most eliminations, you can see Cooper and Miro. No surprise, currently sitting in first place, right behind them, Pixie and Cheatin'.
Yeah, I mean, you know, first and second place, obviously eliminations are very, very important.
And the PC yet.
And Bilo with 12 sneaking up there for me. I feel like they just started to warm up in game number 3 there. We saw Peter, but the mechanics were coming out, and that's what he's known for, by the way. So if that can continue that momentum, they might be flying up the leaderboard.
Yeah, it feels like a blast from the past from those guys, right? Obviously, back when they won an FNCS many seasons ago, that's the kind of thing we saw from them so often, right? Popping off high elim games, and it's good to see them getting in on the action today.
I was curious to kind of get your thoughts. So how do we slow down Miro and Cooper right now? Are they contested? Because it seems right now like they're uncontested. Or if they are, they're just winning off every spawn. But they are so dangerously far ahead right now.
No, I mean, seriously, what it comes down to is making mistakes out of them. And was that, right? They made a mistake. They had so many things to come back from in that game. I mean, positionally, right? They were pretty much out to the west side of the zone. They had no builds. Somehow finding the refreshes in that game tells me that they are even ready for those situations that are tough, especially in Fortnite competitive, to overcome, which just means that it might be hard to stop that Cooper Miro train.
Yeah, I think the one interesting for me, no matter how many games we play, no matter how deep we are into this competition, if Thomas actually walks out, the crowd are going to make noise. And that's what just happened a second ago. He's clearly back from his break, and they're all, you know, on top of the world. It'd be good to see those guys start to get in on the action a bit more. You see Manabuka getting ready there, Thomas locked in, focused. These off-spawn battles against Kanada and Aegis, they've been going so back and forth, man. And mentally, it must be tough, because even when you win, you know this might be the only opportunity you get to actually play out a game, and there's even more pressure, I guess.
هذول طلعوا 20 مركز و 19 مركز وكندا 19.
We've seen double Rift Island claims. You can see the 30 points. The 30 points, just under half of their total points from Rift Island. And it's still just so crazy to me. More duos aren't just sending it. Because actually yesterday we saw a moment where there was like 4 duos that landed on it, and they're like, okay, look, you got here, that's fine, we'll just let you have it. But at least they went for it.
Yeah, and I actually saw some respect there in game number 3, right? We saw Datus and Stain, right? They were right under the Rift Island spawn, and we were like, oh, look, they're probably going to get it. And then they just didn't go up for it, when I really feel like they were in a position too. So still a lot of these teams not willing to go for it.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Because like you said, they went from showing so much respect there for not going for it, then the next game they get in a limb and they start, you know, doing the griddy on their opponents, right? So clearly, you know, where they choose to give and not give respect is a bit different, and it depends on who it really is. I'd like to see some more teams get involved in that Rift Island gambit, right? I think, again, for a team to have claimed it twice now in Hen and Vasquez, you can't be letting that happen if you're the rest of the lobby, right? If they now start to, you know,
بلش بشان الله اللي بيحبوا تحكوا.
points, then you start looking at a team that can start to contend.
Okay, I like it. Let's take a look at the numbers for
Oh
Rift Island.
my
So obviously, we
God.
highlighted them. Hen and Vasky, 30 points. Okay, so Batman, Bugha, and Rapid, we did see that not that long ago. And then
30 نقطة دول جابوهم
the
مرتين.
forecast towers being 3 points each. So Cammy and Seti and Bryce and Chubbs have also claimed 2 respectively. So, and I think the other thing we want to kind of, it's not necessarily gone under the wayside, but that forecast can be so powerful for a duo. I wonder if that's why Seti and Cammy, though they've kind of been in somewhat shambles situations, have still played so well.
Yeah, for sure. I think you look at the game played without forecast.
نعم صرنا سنتين استنى.
It's just going to dominate everybody else. Like they're going to be in good positions and they're going to make you think, how on earth did they know where to go, right? How did they maneuver their way into the spot? You give them the forecast, how you give them the intel, the insight beforehand, and it's like, yeah, they're just always going to be in a good spot. And even though the performances, maybe there's a bit going wrong in terms of the fighting ability and where they're on the same page there in box fights, they're still going to make it deep into games with those forecast towers.
Yeah, and if we think about the strength of Frenzy as it stands right now, of course, it is going to be the fact that it is so close to that forecast tower. So the fact that they're kind of like splitting their drop spot right now, I really think it's in favor of them. And, you know, we're talking about how, you know, we really don't think that they've had a Cammy Seti-esque game yet. That forecast tower
Chapter 1 map announced with the FNCS.
So much.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Well, getting word. As much as I enjoyed the
أخيرا يلا بدي أسمعك زهقتني.
Let's send it up to our casters. This is game number 4 of the FNCS Global Championship.
أيوة أخيرا.
That's right, we're up here. We have Taco joining us right now to, of course, close out the remainder of the day. We already know it's getting intense. Players did have a short break, though.
The very first 3 games today have done nothing except deliver action after action.
يلا بس بلش الجيم معلش جاهتك بسكتوش أخيرا يلا
Into it. Game number 4 is here, and it is time to take our way into the Fortnite world. Let's jump off this bus. Let's see what's in store for us.
And that's the thing, Monsters. We've already seen so many of those 50-50 skirmishes, particularly this one here at the racetrack. You can already see these players lighting
Kanado,
up the
Asiers,
sky.
يلا.
Kanada, Asiers, Malabuka, and Thomas. It's been a relatively even split so far, but this is the time. Thomas
كندا تربوا أحسن. ملبوكا ملبوكا مات. توماس جي توماس جي مات. كندا مين قتلهم؟ يامزو رايز قتلوهم.
Spinks actually with the final elimination shots there. And that's part of the risk as well with some of those early
راحوا 2 راحوا الأربعة راحوا كلهم.
The sad part about that is Kanada has won that drop now more times than Thomas HD and Malabuka. So Kanada and Agers also had equal amount of time to run up the points on the scoreboard, and they were doing it. Finally finding their stride. That's going to be a huge setback for everyone here. But nonetheless, we get to jump in now with Clement and Kaizen, who already have an elimination. If Grols is by himself, then he's having to run.
Solars, Kanado, Ages,
early demise. Baka tried doing his best to recover, but it's just not enough. Giannis going to collect the wins, and that's primarily just them getting the luxury of being able to continue farming out resources, materials. But we can take a look back at the action, and we didn't get a chance to witness the first time around. Reason with a nice drop down from the overhead view. Baka just unable to find those finalizing shots. It's unfortunate, but when you're in those 2 versus 1 situations, it's
Moneymaker بهرب.
It makes you wonder if Reason and Giannis didn't, come out of the lower bracket. Baka and Pars had such a great upper bracket day 1 just to qualify here, and today have been put on stalemate, put on ice all day long, just no room to warm up. Talking about teams that haven't quite had room. Our OCE
باور راحوا باور راحوا.
And finishes the deal, gets his elimination points, gets the credit, and finishes it off when it matters.
Worthy though, making sure to not go down without a fight. At least a minor setback there for Misha and Teeny. But the revive.
NA leads with 5 teams in the top 10, followed by EU and 4 in Asia with 1.
Here, one more time, Teeny, Misha. They've got Fnatic and Moneymaker in their sights, but
ف5 بالتوب 10 كل 5 بالتوب 10 NA اللي هو سيرفر NA بعديها يوروب 4 بعدين ايجا 1
for actually looking to challenge against Fnatic and Moneymaker.
Tayson, Slappy Shores.
Gone over though, Murstache, Tayson in the battle here. Tayson playing the high ground, allowing Murstache to really lead the pace down low. This is the first time we've seen them rotate this south early. And Slappy trying to really force the fight on Trulix, but the timing must have felt good to them because Chicho and Trulix were also fighting at this drop. This has been a triple contest area, and Fork and Bolts are also looking to potentially swing their way in. But no, not this time.
Snazy and Podesai though, you can always tell the moment that they come up on the screen because the French community here in the arena always making sure
ما بيقدروش تهيل ما بيهيل
for their favorites. Podesai lying in wait though. Accident has absolutely no idea for what was waiting right around the corner here. A nice pick off though for Podesai and Snazy. Curious to see what they choose to do though with that knock. High likelihood that they look for that strat they've been trying to repeat where they can farm some damage.
They've done it though. They've continued to, if they can't get to a mushroom, they're using med mist, they're using everything in their power. We love the let's go Snazy cheer and chant there as well. Hey, if you were to join in on any of those you want to celebrate with, that's what this is all about. Karmi set up on high ground, looking solid, scented and polarized. Need to find their footing here. Can they do it? We've only seen 3 games. There's 3 more games in this finals, grand finals run up. Anything is possible. As quickly as you flew up, you can come down, or there's room for others to come and join you at the top.
Right now, Senate is trying to spread his wings here up against Gab0 and Polarized to back him up. Not in the sights, but right now, Polarized and taking their time before making the attack. Want to make sure that most of these edits actually belong to them before fully pushing in.
520 أخيرا طلعوا.
Long box after all, nice peek of the shoulder there for Polarized.
Polarized.
It seems as though more joining the fray. These guys aren't able to find it soon enough. Gab0 applies some decent pressure, but again, keep in mind, Muzz and Paper, they seem to close in.
I was just about to say, what is happening right now? You got Muzz and Paper just saying, hey dog, y'all want to fight down here? Y'all want a clean fight? Well,
hey,
guess what?
You guys can fight.
We're not going to allow that to happen. They come in and put some shots down, and again, with that visual sound cue, everyone here knows for sure there's a team lurking. It's not worth it. Scented and Polarized make the rotate out. We might see some NA on NA action here. Agent Paper trying to set up right now. You say, all right, you take your scraps. Now they might be looking to fight Nutty and Gab0 here.
But the fact that a simple introduction of another party to your initial skirmish, and that's enough to disperse the engagement altogether, because you can just tell, Scented, Polarized, they recognize how much they need these points. Some of these teams looking to hit a second win of sorts after that halftime point.
يلا مين حفظ الجيم الرابع؟ اوه مستر سافيج اتوقع معس اوريدي. اتوقع ايكون كود لازم يفوزوا جيم كمان. كثير هم شمناها باتمان بوغا 18. اديو ديوك 16. تحتيهم بس كل واحد فرق.
Edgy's on the move, Duke's on the move, more action unfolding on the other side though. We jump
like
back into
zone.
it. Podesai and Snazy continue looking to strike here on the opponents in the vicinity. They allow for the pickup, it seems.
Oh, this could be dirty though from Podesai and Snazy, depending on how they actually look to play things out. Exodus just having gotten to rejoin and just quickly sent back again to the elimination process. It's going to be in vain here, unfortunately, for his streak to continue. But Snazy and Podesai, they still got to work their way from deep outside of the zone. Granted, it is early enough that the tick damage isn't really anything to be all too concerned about. You don't want to find yourself too far outside of positioning where some of these other teams might be towered up.
Yeah, they're going to be
fine.
They're going to be fine. They have the surge now to back it up.
I charge.
Sneaky little play for Peterbot now. Byla, they need to score some points too if they want to jump back into that top 5 conversation. Because up top, we have Cooper and Miro potentially starting to run away train with no breaks. Let's watch it back, though. We jumped away from Paper for a moment. It seems like as things started to ease up, they come on in. They catch a down body.
What?
And Paper was quick on it. And you know he's feeling good about that one. That was an excellent elimination and a great timed fight.
And if you're Nutty and Gabzera in that instance, almost can't fault them for wanting to commit. Seemed as though he was nearly through that revive process, just a little bit longer. Seemed as though he was
I was like, oh.
revive process, just a little. Just inside of Frenzy Fields, finding some nice shots with that twin mag. And
يلا بيحكوا إيش عن chapter 1 أو يعني إيش on chapter 5.
Relatively split right now from Cammy. Seems as though both of them trying to prioritize different directions, but some of these teams definitely encountering some issues. Running alongside the edge of Storm, it seems as though other teams are already taking note of the way that the zones are starting to pool and just doing their best to try and control the flow of the lobby.
Yeah, and it's not just Noxie and Crisp here who have a problem. The team in front of them are in the fight. These are 2 of Asia's best going head-to-head. Datus and Stain, Zagu, and Peppo clipped down low. The FNCS champions of the Asia region have been flexing on the competition, but Seti and Cammy have been keeping them cool as they have been the kings of Frenzy so far. The battles for the weather station have been very evident in this game now. This is that back half strategy we talked about, showing you how many teams want to try to increase their odds.
Well, think about it. Zagu and Peppo, I distinctly remember a content piece from yesterday where they specifically stated, we will trade our lives in order to secure these forecast towers, because that is just how impactful having every single visualization of future zones can be. It does make a massive difference when teams are able to control it. And right now, Giannis, Reason, they're trying to control what's happening between themselves. Axe Force, Rabab. But it's a lull in the action because other teams just keep taking note of the action.
Out of the Germans here, already 2 eliminations for Giannis, showing that they had success at the Slappy Shores. Axe Force and Robab Kebab definitely a strong 2, but then you have Pixie and Cheaton just nearby, ever lurking, hungry for more points, already on 2 victories. We were wondering how have they done it. It's just timing. Their timing has been impeccable. And if they can time this battle correctly, they'll be right there, earning themselves a good number of points. But no, things slow down. The weapons cache might just go to this team here of Axe Force and Robot.
Could be massive, though, for Pixie and Chi when you consider that their drop is super far north on the map in general. Relatively.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
He's having a hard time. He's been rebooted like 3 times this game already, and found by different duos at different stages. What a difficult time it has been.
It would have been a lot more menacing, though, if it was Podesai and Snazy somehow. At least it's a different duo this time. But Seti, sure to make sure that Exodus is not going to be able to get revived. He's trying to pressure in as quickly as possible, does not want to let this happen. Exodus, though, actually manages to get back up on his feet. Another attempt. Success here for Striker as he continues to do everything in his power to ensure that he gets to play out this match as a duo.
At this point, just let him be. He deserves to stay alive right here. Seti and Cam are going to take this rock and go ahead and get as much distance as possible. Should be just fine to go ahead and get to the zone, but no strangers, Cammy and Seti, to playing deep zone. We've seen it just about the bulk of the games on the day. Meanwhile, Miro and Cooper have continued to have success in the middle. Let's catch up with these teams. Let's catch up with what's going on with Vivid.
All of the games so far throughout the day have featured some very early aggression, but that is not the case for Cooper and Miro, right? They're just landing over at Rumble Ruins all alone. And honestly, one of the best things about this POI is going to be that Temple Vault. So much loot in one spot to make sure that they can quickly get the loadouts that is needed. And the other thing good about this POI is that it is centrally located on the map.
Video Savage live.
And some early rotations out.
Savage,
Thanks think so much, Vivid. It's definitely clear.
الآيلاند
Their drop
لفيكو.
at that Rumble Ruins POI is certainly making a pretty impactful mark on their run so far today. And what's even
Vico
crazier
Pink.
still is when you think about the fact that Miro quite literally has more FNCS title wins, being 5 over Cooper's finals appearances. This is only Cooper's 4th finals appearance, and yet here they are, game number 4, leading the lobby on that first place in the leaderboard.
Well, with Vico and Pink on this Rift Island, they're looking to lick their lips, rub their hands together, and pray for something good right now. That's 15 points their way, but they're going to have to fight for it. Moneymaker, Fnagen understand that they have to come back and make a big turn, a big stride up the standings, and that's why the battle for the Rift Island checkpoint is going to be important here. Vico and Pink would love to secure this right now, though. It would really make the difference.
It's 15 points. The fact that Hen and Basque have managed to secure 2
واحد
of the
اثنين
Rift
ثلاثة
Island objective
أربعة قد إيه
checkpoints
دوو
is
فيه.
insanity because it stacks so quickly. But Cooper, Miro, they seem to have other intentions, and the game is afoot here for these two as they continue trying to see whether or not they can close in on any of these other teams surrounding the Rift Island that might be a little bit more distracted with each other still.
Well, it's going to get pretty interesting. We have 1st, 3rd, and 4th place all nearby. Make that 5th place as well, because Vaniac and Carby are under the Rift Island, so a lot of our very important performing duos so far just to hit here. The first, Tina and Misha. They've had a good game so far. They finally found their footing here, but they're going against Pink and Vico, who were just warmed up after the first 3. Already, though, what can they do?
Pink's got to be careful, though. Pink and Nico don't want to wind up as the team being sandwiched with so much commotion happening here at the Rift Island. Still trying to break through these wall edits from Misha and Teeny. But capture point, it's been claimed. Vico and Pink, that is a massive 15 points bonus, regardless of what happens next for these two. But it seems as though they still want more. They've got the loot, but they want some elimination points to go.
فايتوها أخذوها.
Yeah, look at this. Now they have everything secured. A weapons upgrade as
مين
well.
راح
Look
يموت؟
at all the other
لا
teams
ما
looking to
أعرف.
scavenge what they can, essentially, from the Rift Island here nearby. But it might just be time to go for most. For Miro and Cooper, they're listening to all this go down. They have the material that they wanted from this low-ground reservoir. And for them, that's a small victory in its own. It wasn't the checkpoint they wanted. That was too risky. But the material count was welcomed.
Little rocket ram on the exit there as well for Miro. Sure, he's bound to get some decent utilization out of that. As things continue drawing up towards the north side, a lot of teams now starting to find their way into the zone, and a couple of teams still left over here at Brutal Bastion. It's a relatively large POI, and seeing all of these pre-established edits, it's got to put you on edge.
Tayson, man.
Vino's hurt, Tayson's hurt as well, but they did manage to find the elimination. Team Monaco on Monaco action, and now Rapid and Batman Booga jump in to try to put their touch on the take, and Vino and Queasy want nothing to do with it. You have to heal, they have to bounce back. They are having a difficult tournament run, as is Cold and Acorn, a lot of our favorite picks so far. Struggling here, but that was just 3 games, right? All you have to do is play even better on the back 3. You can be very much in the competition, in the conversation.
I mean, we've seen just how impactful even 2 games can be.
Yeah.
And considering that we still have 2 games left to play after this one, would never want to count out, you know, or Queasy in those sort of circumstances. Following up now on Iyamzo and Rise. Just kind of surveying the area right now. So many varying levels of elevation up here towards the north side of the map. Very easy to lose track of some of these teams that might be trying to dip down just a little bit behind some of these icebergs. But Rise seems as though he's got at least one party in his sights. Just behind him though, Cheatin and Pixie, but it's Misha and Teeny. They have been on an uphill battle the entire match so far, it would seem. And it's only going to get all the more difficult with Teeny having just been knocked. Pink and Vico pushing in. They want these double eliminations secured. The points will make such a massive difference. And it's going to be Vico with the final charge in.
جابوا الآيلاند
Couple of sharp 2
كلين.
shots is all it takes. And that's 8 points secured.
Great job as well, finding the angles there, closing the elimination set. That's going to put them up in a sweet spot, but now Podesai has to play this one out by himself. he's going to need the support of his community here for sure, because with only a Rocket Ram and Crash Pads for utility and no heals, it's going to be pretty tough, but somehow he is above the surge. Here it is. He charges it up. Off he flies. Out he goes. Shalom and NK Papa. This could be a great team to attack. They're hurt. He gets in. He grabs the wall, but no. Slips out the backside. Little does he know, he can absolutely finish them off, and they need a set of eliminations. They need a pair of damage. Kodasai changes things around. Here's the damage coming in. Gets the finish. No. Couldn't conclude. More tags from the side. Take him out. Papa will fall here potentially if he can't find a little more damage before the zone closes. It's Vico who's in front of him.
You could tell MK Papa wants to turn around, but he knows he's got to keep pushing forward. And Vico finds him for even a second. The zip line at this point.
Wow.
8 HP and he goes across unscathed. That is incredible. Combed up for a moment.
ولا واحد شافه بالزيب لاين كي.
Willed successfully.
مات. بديل سولو بديل. حيموت من زون. يب.
MK Papa, Asia's last hope of the top.
Mr. Savage عايش لا.
For now, taken out and finished, but not before putting up a crazy fight against top fives. Vasquez.
Dead.
But hold up. Now we get to see this. Miro and Cooper starting to find their footing again. They need to fight for it. This is the second game now. Game 3, we saw very much similar circumstances where they came into the game and the mid game was such a struggle. Material count, health-wise, just in general, very, very scrappy duo. They do find a set of refreshers there. Meanwhile, Seti and Cammy, complete different story. We've already known they played deep out of the storm line, but they're looking pretty fine right now. It's going to be natural high ground. This is looking like good old early chapter days.
Cammy and Seti have definitely found a decent spot just on the side of the mountain north of Brutal Bastion, but they're not the only ones looking this direction. Ugan threats, box just beneath them. A lot of teams kind of surrounding the edges here. Peterbot and Bila, though, they're trying to push next to
Bila man. What?
Just now getting barely above the surge damage threshold, but Peterbot, we've been watching him do it all day long. The elimination onto Thoric, the revive onto his teammate, and bolts will fall as well. That's the kind of refresh that Peterbot and Bila were hoping for.
This is what Peterbot does right here. This is what he does best. Solo play by himself when it comes down to clutching up, and he's got that charge. This thing hurts, it hits hard. He can finish the player off with one charge up. It's Axe Force though. Will he become a victim of Peterbot? But no. On his first, Peterbot has to dig into his heels now. Decides, hey, I gotta get out of here. Breaks through everyone's build. Why not just cause chaos? 10 players flying in the process. Give it a moment. Give it a moment. You might find elimination and Axe Force gets one.
Spinks probably has no idea what just hit him between Axe Force and Peterbot. Those were some of the most destructive rocket rams that we have seen.
Am I covering the map? Where do you want me to put my webcam? Like right here?
Strong positioning for the time being as a solo. It's so common to see players try to move from that very backside of the zone, but Cheatin as well. Seemingly the same idea here. He's just trying to wait for everybody else to start moving first, but when you're hanging just above the damage threshold, some pressure is bound to start building up.
Well, placement points have been given out, and finally now we start to see someone inside the top for Vico in pink. That was a worst case scenario as they were just there at the placement point threshold. Falls to the hands of the Brazilian duo, Kitos and PH Zin. For Seti, for Cammy, they've elevated themselves enough, recognizing that low ground was too dangerous, and they're playing a vertical box here. For Miro, for Cooper, they're getting to the front side of zone. They're on the hunt right now. Miro loses him, though, for a second. A lot going on around him.
Miro trying to make sure that his feet are protected. How many times have we seen players shooting just underneath some of these box edits and walls? The smallest of gaps towards the bottom of them, but Cheatin, again, as a solo, still finding a way to keep moving forward, and this is just so paramount for Cheatin and Pixie's run. They've got to do everything in their power to stay as close as possible, hot on the heels.
بديل جاب كيل أماز.
And Cheatin just looking like he keeps finding moments to find that breath
فيديو
of
فنش
relief.
ماز فيديو قتل بيبر.
Just what an incredible story for Pixie and Cheatin. Jumping in, this opportunity coming in
كلين
for final
مستر
moments, so
سافج.
making the best of it now.
شو اللوت؟
Think about it.
What?
If they fall now, you give Cooper and Miro potential runway that no one can close the gap
شو
on.
هاللوت؟
It is getting that close right now. Mixon, Blaha though, high ground is theirs. They've had it since the mountaintop, the first to claim it, have not looked back since.
هذا يمكن أسوأ لوت باللعبة. هذا أحسن من هذاك. ميرو كوبر كل انجن يعملوها.
What exactly is going to happen? These moving
مستر
zones going
سافج ولساته
forward,
عايش
though,
وبديل.
things could be pretty vicious
مستر سافج
considering
عايش بلاير.
the landscape that these players are dealing with. Going up alongside the mountain, Cheatin.
تشين سولو جاب كيل.
Acquire an elimination in the process. Knock onto the for Strokey
سلاير
there.
خذ الباونسرز خذ أيوة.
Will be forced to use his legendary slurp juice. That does buy him a little bit of time here.
روح. لا روح استعمل. ألو استعمل أيوة.
as well. He's going to make sure to utilize at least one of them. Again, just more builds being completely ripped through here.
Front side of zone is where he finds something.
لا
Oh,
لا
moves off the mount. He's got to be very careful here as it bounces back. So
لا لا
unfortunate.
موارد
It
كثير
was so
خسر.
close to being perfect, but instead put
كثير
himself
خسر
in a bad
موارد.
position. Another player above him. He's going to have to charge it up in no time. Bino finds him there, and Cooper
خلاص.
and Miro now have a chance
راح.
to
شوف
keep
باتمان بوغا راح. بوغا راح.
This is their true
ايكون راح.
opportunity, and they've
رابد
taken
راح.
full advantage of it on high ground. Vino and Queasy want to make a comeback, but so does Cammy and
العربي
Seti.
راح. رايس راح.
Battle for height ensues here. Vino
ايكون
and
هلا
Queasy
تفنش. بوغا تفنش. رايس تفنش. العربي قتل رايس بس مات. تايسون مات من زون. بديل جاب كيل. هو مستر سافج. كوبر جاب كيل. ميرو جاب كيل ومات. لا جاب كيل ميرو. ريد جاب كيل. ميرو خاص الأول مستحيل. سافج جاب كيل بس ميرو الأول مستحيل مستحيل. كولد جاب كيل سولو. مات كوبر ومات. مستر سافج مات. كوبر مات. مستر سافج قتل كوبر. مستر سافج ثريتس قتل واحد. كامي على الهاي جراوند. بديل لا لا وين بديل؟ مستر سافج تفنش. كامي 16 كويزي راح. بديل راح. كامي مات. تشوبز تو اوه تشوبز على الهاي جراوند. نو ماس بس. ايجنت كولد جاب كيل. كولد مات. جي جي تشوبز. تشوبز جي 545,000.
And they have continued to win over this weekend. They are rising stars.
Bryce, the sight of you winning a victory royale is going to be one of the most enduring memories of this entire event for me, because every time you guys have success,
Nero the Great with the 100 bits. Thank you.
Believe how good you are. What does it feel like to take a second victory royale in Copenhagen?
It feels amazing. It's exciting.
And what did you guys discuss in the halftime break? Because you needed the points desperately, and now you're in 4th on the leaderboard.
We got this. We're better than everybody here.
Is that literally the conversation you had?
Yeah.
Now, I know that this is a first time on LAN for you, Bryce. What about you, Chubbs? How much experience have you been able to bring to the stage this weekend?
Not much, but our skill is there, so we're here to win.
Is that what it's all about? Just the skill?
Yes, that's it.
So tell me about your early games then, because that seems to be the trend here. The teams that are uncontested, that can just mat up and get their resources ready, seem to be doing the best right now. Are you finding yourself caught in early fights?
No.
Only last game. This game, we're just playing how we normally play, get Surge.
So what happens then if someone comes to you to try and get that Surge?
We're better than them. We'll just kill them.
Do you believe this, Bryce? Do you believe in yourself now after you've had so many epic moments here?
I do. I think we could win.
And do you believe in this man, Chubbs?
I do.
Amazing. Well, I'm starting to believe in the two of you too. Thank you so much, guys. Congratulations, everyone, Bryson Chubbs!
And Bryson Chubbs showing a lot of restraint, right? They could be going crazy, they could be popping off, but no, they're focused. They know there's only 2 games left to go. Now with this lead, with this victory royale and the eliminations as well, they could make a run of it. Now, very quickly, before we even get going, Kelly Link, Mini Miner, welcome to the analyst desk. Okay, now hit me.
I mean, wow. This is something that we have seen from this duo this weekend. They have got victory royales in the previous rounds. And we've just seen it again. I think there's a few question marks about whether they could do it on the big stage. I mean, Frankie mentioned it. Maybe the lack of experience compared to some of the other duos in the lobby. But they're not showing any nerves at the moment. They're on top.
No, and they were on top of that mountain as well.
Yeah.
Once we saw Mixon drop down from there. We
Wow.
also saw Vino, Queasy, Seti, and Cammy all fighting for that high ground.
Cold.
And when you have the mountain there, it is so important to be able to grab that high ground because it is so difficult to be able to recover from the mid and low ground. And we saw that from the likes of Miro and Cooper. Once that zone does move, it's a lot more difficult to be able to rotate around the high
وين
ground.
شبز مش موجودين ولا توب 10. لا هيهم 16 مركز طلعوا الرابع.
Pixie and Cheatin not moving anywhere.
Yeah, I want to come back to them first. Cammy and Seti, you kind of highlighted them there. We saw them.
وين فيكو اوه نزلوا مركزين.
My gosh, that end game was a who's who. Didn't matter where you were looking. You're like, I know all of these things. But I love here, you can just tell, if you really pay attention to the way Cammy and Seti play, when Queasy and Veno are close by and they're kind of like interacting, the way that Seti and Cammy, there's like this tiny little change. It's almost like now they're on the hunt. They can smell the blood in the water. They're like, no, 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 you're close by? Okay, we switch it on.
Yeah, they definitely know. I mean, when you got 2 of the best teams in the entire world battling for height, it is an absolute spectacle to behold. That was such a good endgame from both those guys. Of course, making it to endgame is great to see for Veno and Queasy in particular as well. And of course, Cammy and Seti. These guys have had a little bit of a rough day today. I know you guys mentioned it on the desk earlier.
مستر سافج معي خلاص
They
راح.
can bring some better games.
وين مستر سافج
Know
نشوف.
what this duo can do. And again, Kelly, that's just highlighting how they're not just a low ground team. They're not just a mid ground team. They are willing and able to take height.
It's just so funny how many people are saying that they're having a rough day, but they're currently in
Okay,
third place.
هيا.
So clearly, their rough game is my
من
best game in the
20
world. But Cammy and Seti, I really got to give a shout out to their aggression
العرض
early on,
فيه.
going so deep in the storm to try and grab that
من
remaining
آخر
player
مركز
before they were able to bring
4
back up their
نقاط.
teammate. However, they realized that once they did, they backed off and said that this isn't worth it. We don't want to get knocked down early because we want to make it to the end game, and they did just that.
That's what they've been
يا
doing all day. They've been
الله.
sitting inside of that storm. That's one of the strategies that we like to see from Cammy and Seti on this big stage. They're trying to
لا
get those heals,
بولر.
and particularly
وين
when the
في
zone
ربع؟
pulls north, of course, it goes into that jungle area where there are those shield mushrooms. Of course, there are those bounce little mushrooms.
كندا 23 خسر
We saw them
أسوان.
in that game using one of those kinetic.
صح
bolts.
أسوان
And that's
ماتوا
what they're trying to do.
يب 1
They're trying to
minute.
stay back. They're trying to get out of fights and ensure that they can make it to endgame.
And another thing that they're doing pretty much every single game except for one is being able to get that forecast
Yeah.
tower, which is obviously so beneficial. But we got to talk about the top team, Cooper and Miro. Miro just going absolutely crazy. And there was a moment in that game where I wasn't too sure how they were going to do. You can see here, 102 below Storm Surge there, and that is such a risky place to be this late in the game. But also, I mean, can we talk about the Rocket Ram in this game? I don't think I've ever seen so many builds destroyed in just 5 minutes.
Yeah, and I think the reason for that was just because of the natural elevation in the zone. The Rocket Ram is the item just to smash through so many builds and get to where you want to be without anything getting in the way, or at least breaking everything that could be getting in the way. But this is a fantastic end game from Miro. And I know on the cast there, I think it was Monster, he mentioned that there was like 4 of our top 5 teams all surrounding the Rift Island. That's no mistake. That's no mistake. All those teams are identifying, Cooper and Miro being one of them, is that they don't have to go for Island and claim it to get all of the beneficiaries that offers. Of course, you can have so many of those mats that you can refarm. Easy high ground. There's a reason why all of these top teams are going
هو
for
صح
it. And
جيمين
Cooper
ولا
and Miro are
مش
showing
عارف.
us how it's done.
I swear in the mid game,
Yep,
every
gimme,
single
gimme,
time that
man.
we go to Cooper and Miro, they are farming. And it has been every single game. And they are one of the best teams to be able to efficiently farm and use that mid game so that they can have a better late game. And that's what we're seeing.
And we've seen a lot of west zones today, right? Games 1 to 3, all on the west side. And of course, Miro and Cooper,
صح
they
جبال.
land on that west side.
صح 5 أقيام
Once
يوم.
we're seeing a zone that isn't in their favor, and I was definitely asking a few questions about, I was like, if the zone doesn't pull their way, what are they going to do? Are they going to be able to sort of play to that standard? They've just answered all of my questions.
I mean, guys, Cooper and Miro, they have a lead. That's a 100-point lead.
That's probably a little bit away. We do.
As long as they can stay out of their own heads.
What the fuck?
Looking at global champs.
Still.
Our
Our next map is going to be nuts.
This man crazy. Benno is
الماب
doing what
جديد.
he does.
This is great to see from Benno, and I know their sort of game strategy and their game plan has been so masterfully crafted by his team. Of course, BloodX, of course, on the coaching side of things, just doing things fantastically well. And Benno's been such a great player that's developed so much throughout his entire gameplay. He hasn't just been an all-round player, just going, jumping in boxes brainlessly. He has developed into such a fantastic, almost half IGL. He tends to take control in these end games.
السبرنت كثير منيح بالنسبة لي تركض.
What can he do?
Well, especially when you're in a solo situation, you kind of have to IGL for yourself just a little bit because you know your situation the best, and that is exactly what we saw from Benno.
Guys, I want to break down so much. There's just so much happening in this game. But I'm getting word. Games are already ready. We're jumping back all up into the action. So casters, back on up to you.
Thank you guys so much. Always love getting that little bit of analytical insight during the analyst desk segments, but they're absolutely right. We have seen so many pop-off instances. We have seen so many pop-off, and I just want to see if they can keep the ball rolling here in game number 5.
Lucky for us, we can do
Mero wins, do you think he would become a top 5 player?
يلا جيم نمبر 5. هذا اخر جيم ولا لا ما اتوقع. السعودية مشارك. What? ايش هو بالسعودية مشارك؟ روبلاكس جيم. سلاك سلاك. ايش هو بشارك السعودية؟ اوكي يلا. One more هاي صح؟ مش عارف. كنارو ايجز يلا. كنارو مالبوكا.
Every single one of these teams begin to depart from the battle bus and look to
كنارو
drop
مالبوكا.
their respective points. It's
يلا.
always funny too when you see the
ولا
players in between those three segments when they're pointing out which chest they actually want to prioritize on their loot paths depending on the bus pathway itself. But right now, Thomas Malabuka, they're trying to prioritize this drop and winning it. Big shots coming in already from the bar, and that's going to be an assist there for Kanata, even if indirect.
راح ايجز dead.
But it's not going to be enough.
والله بحاول اجيب الكل.
And Agers will yet again
يلا كنارو رجع بالجيم.
the racetrack. But again, the help from afar just did so much there for Kanata and Agers.
This is all he wants. This is all he wants to say. He came to Copenhagen. He showed up to the grand finals. Who had the best score at the end of it? Right now, Kanata and Agers clearly have been kings of the drop. But what can they do after this last game? They unfortunately were finished so soon. They have a chance now to at least fight for more earnings here today. There is still so much prizing on the line. The grand finals means so much more than just first place. It's everything in between. It's your legacy.
هذا حيموت
Giannis getting into a fight here against Baka.
لا ليش بتنط؟
Baka and Pars are
ما
about due
تصدقني.
for a turnaround fight. Finally, they get to find their wind.
بك اخيرا.
Chance. Baka and Pars for NA now gets put up a little bit of numbers.
A lot of NA representation so far to start things off with some of these more heavily contested areas, but as far north side of the map, Crude Harbor section is going to belong to Pars and Baka. Definitely got to be feeling really good about that, especially when you consider in the way that this fight initially started. Almost looked as though Giannis and Reason were going to get the better end of things, but Pars doing a beautiful job to just displace the two, finding that side maneuver to really just approach them from a different attacking side and just cause so many issues.
Miro and Cooper playing so well right now. Miro's won 4
Euro
of
won
his 5
4 of his 5 titles without securing a single
royale. He has been
Miro won 4 of his
consistent,
5 FNCS titles.
but based off of eliminations,
without securing a victory.
runs, a lot of
طبعا
which he's done
4
solo.
FNCS فازهم
His teammate, but I
بدون
think he's
فوز.
found his
جاب
counterpart
مركز أول بدون فوز.
in this recent major, because they've just been playing great Fortnite together.
Hey, first place might mean 65 placement points, but second place at 56 is not half bad by any means.
He's got 2 of those.
Especially when you're able to back-to-back them like what we saw from Miro earlier today in those solo clutch instances as well. Definitely not an easy position to be in. But a few teams who weren't involved with some of those early engagements, 50-50 drops. Right now, they're all just on the hunt to see where and when they can acquire their surge tag damage, because the surge strategies, they have been coming in hot all weekend long, but they are needed now more than ever here in Game 5.
Yeah, Brutal Bastion's an interesting spot because Pixie and Cheatin have been here. They have been here round after round, but haven't quite gotten into any of the fights. And also, what a great stat. Pixie and Cheatin are the first duo since Aqua and Nyrox in World Cup with back-to-back VRs at an in-person event at a LAN. And Aqua and Nyrox set history that weekend when they did that, only to go on and take it all away. But today, we see something completely different here. This story, the standings, of course, Cooper and Miro's their biggest task yet.
Well, Bryson Chubbs, if there's definitely a team that'd be looking to break a stat like that, they're certainly the ones to keep an eye out for. I mean, you heard the confidence in that post-game interview. We're simply better than everybody
Bro,
else
hello?
here.
Yeah.
And granted, the way they managed to creep up
What did I miss, bro? What is happening? Hello? Like, Cooper and me are winning.
Trying to pressure in.
Bro, this is just, oh my. Bro, even like